Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck
Started
is the
off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like LeBron James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. The field's not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I gotta shout out
Started
the
off with a
bit.
Now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Freaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, mighty, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the ride with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
GM, welcome to Coffee with Captain. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Juneteenth to everyone who celebrates. Hope you're all enjoying the day off today. If you are one of those who gets the day off, we don't take days off here on Coffee. This is episode 1186 every single weekday, come rain or shine, holiday or no holiday, since December 3rd of 2021. Excited, a lot to talk about today. It is a Friday, so it is as with typical fashion, normal. Free-for-all Friday. Who knows where the conversation takes us? We will have a coffee with Captain. There's a few people that were finalists, and I need you to remind me who those finalists were, because you will be in consideration. You'll be in the short list for the Coffee with Captain poll today. Finalists from last week, early last week, and I can't, once again, did not write it down. Don't remember what it was, but I'll trust you if you say, if you tell me you were one that I said you were a finalist. I think the 3 p.m. slate on a Friday, it is questionable. Fine for me, but I hear you for those that are working. I maybe I'm wrong, and I know not everyone gets Juneteenth off, but I'm guessing that went into the thought today is a lot of people in the U.S. do get today off, the bankers holiday. But I feel you, and for those that aren't able to, I would just, you know what, just find yourself a quiet spot in the office and fire up the, I guess on Fox. So Fox, and I saw yesterday that iShowSpeed is also going to be streaming on his YouTube channel. I don't know how he's doing that. I mean, and if you got to pay for an extra sub or it's just free, I don't know if you got to buy YouTube Premium or YouTube TV. If anyone knows the details, let us know. But I did see that as a thing today. If you don't have the Fox subscription, I just do all my subs through Amazon Prime. So all my subscription-based TV, whether it's Apple TV or HBO Max or Fox for Fox Sports, it's all just on Apple TV for me. But yeah, good luck not getting in trouble at work if you are at work today. Should be a good game. I think it'll be electric. The U.S. is favored, but it is not. It should be a tight game. Australia is no pushover. The big the big favorites today is Brazil. They should win pretty handily. I think the over there is like 3.5, leaning towards the over, and therefore I'm stacking the Brazilians today is my my approach to the slate. Speaking of approach to the slate, I ran after busting the day before, having my worst day in the underdog draft streets for the World Cup. Had a nice 40x yesterday off a $3 entry. Finished top 10, hit for turned 3 into $125. I wish normally I'm firing more bullets than yesterday. I just had 2 entries into that. I just got busy, and the slate locks at like noon or 11:30 or 11:45 with these early games, and I just I'm not entering contests overnight, and mornings are busier for me, so I little lighter volume than normal. But had I, if you, I'll show you the leaderboard here in a second. Had I max entered, good chance I have a shipper, because my core was on point, and you'll see. It was also a good day for Chris's. There's another guy who's a high volume whale on underdog. Plays, I think, all the sports. I see him in MLB, football. Yesterday was maybe the first time I saw him in the World Cup action. Not saying he hasn't been firing massive volume, but he had a I don't know, I'm sure he max entered. So like 20, this was a 20 entry max, and you'll see he let me pull it up here so I don't misspeak. The other Chris is finished first, third, or actually tied for second, fourth, tied for fifth, and then I came in at ninth. But not a bad. I remember who it was. The Lucas Provad, for Croatia, or the Czechs. He got injured and only put up 3.55 points. Who knows if he does any better if he doesn't get injured? But if he scores another goal and plays the whole game, there's a chance I shipped the thing yesterday. So my arc as a football tout is loading and excited. It is. You know what, Von Fruten? I'm aware of this, and thanks to my my football. What should I call Warp Joe? My football consigliere, is that appropriate? My football tout, Mr. Warp Joe, has been keeping me updated. So I was actually, believe it or not, I was aware. I wasn't aware until Joe told me, but I now am aware that it's the Premier League fixture day, and I also know that what that means, that they release next season's schedule. Thank you for the education, Von Fruten, but I was already aware of this, thanks to Joe. And you may know as well that the schedule actually got released to the journalists yesterday, but they're under strict embargo, and they can't talk about it until the league gives them the go ahead. Otherwise, they lose their credentials, their media privileges. So when I say I'm deep in the streets, it is no joke. I'm learning. I also I'll share the other news for anyone wanting to follow along. That Leipzig, may not be pronouncing that right, but he turned down $100 million proposal from Liverpool. For Yan Diomede. This is going to be a trip. My my journey into these names. I struggle with English words, so when we're talking about international names, it is going to be a trip. But yeah, Leipzig expects PSG and more clubs to join the race. 90 million plus 10 million from Liverpool, not enough. This kid's a 19-year-old that is elite, and played 1 season as a starter, top 5 in the league, 33 games at Red Bull, owned Leipzig in but I feel like I need to at least learn how to pronounce the leagues. Bundesliga, and they want 120 million for him. You've seen him play the Ivory Coast against Ecuador. So yeah, I am, while I can't pronounce the names, I am learning, and I'm retaining some of the information at least, and excited to continue the journey. Even I told my girlfriend yesterday, like, hey, I've been talking about doing a second show. I'm going to do that. And right now the leading working title is football and football. And she got real excited hearing that I'm planning to incorporate the international football game with my NFL player takes. It's Friday, so if you've not yet subscribed to our newsletter, would ask you to do that. We only hit it once a month now. So you've got a week. Just a quick friendly reminder, you can click that QR code up in the top corner It'll take you to the landing page. Just drop your email. We don't spam you. We don't share your information. You just get one update with, well, actually, I don't know if we've moved monthly. I think we move monthly. If not, we're moving monthly. And see, I even know more about the game of football than Riggs. It's a German football league, Riggs. And it's also, what Friday also means is it is Coffee with Captain Day. We will be pulling a $50 claw pull, continuing the hot streak we've been running pretty good in the BAYC streets. So shout out to BAYC for supporting that. And speaking of BAYC, they just introduced their new points raffle. So if you've got any points over there, you're eligible for a free raffle. Make sure you do that. It's a good excuse to get everyone over there and make sure you who knows, you might hit a grail in the free raffle. Really appreciate how they're doing their their point system far more than just farming for a TGE. Speaking of farming for a TGE, I know we flew over it yesterday. I'm not well versed enough exactly on what Luke is talking about, but I saw a little more people. I saw some people saying, well, I'm not going to name names, but I saw some people calling BS on it, that Project Quantum or whatever they're doing to go one-to-one stock tokens on the stock exchange. I don't know how they're going to do it either. Luke is claiming they've got something figured out. Could be a big deal if they land that plane, but it also could be a big nothing burger and they come out in 6 months and say, "I'm sorry, we tried but couldn't make it happen." I don't know, but I don't know enough to really speak intelligently about that or the process to even have a spicy take. But as I continue to stack Abstract XP once again, I'm rooting for him a little bit. It actually got me thinking, like, should I consider, because the way he compared it to it's like an ICO meets an IPO. And again, could be a lot of fluff, may not be nothing there. But if so, I have to imagine that Pudgy's get another nice allocation. Abstract XP turns into a nice allocation. I'm just speculating here. It could be nothing. So don't go buy a big Pingu bag or a penguin just to speculate on something I don't know anything about. But I am I hope they do. Like, I'm rooting for it. Like, if they do land, if it is possible, it could be a big win for Web3 Ledge. Yeah, he does. He is a good hype man. I'll give him that. He does like to hype a lot. So again, take it all with a grain of salt. We also were told Abstract streamers would be millionaires. There'd be millionaires made off of streaming on Abstract, and that is, anything's possible. I guess things could change, but at this point, it is. You might be lucky to make $1,000 off of Abstract streaming. A kid. Maybe not, but I shouldn't be too harsh. GM to all the GMers, I don't want to jump into too much seriousness before we give some love. Corona, Helpful Soul, Mario is always out there warming up the YouTube streets. Thomas as well. It's Free for All Friday, new work schedule, give him some weekends off, so let's go. Good to see you back in the live streets. Absolute Zero, Zane, he's traveling the world like the infamous Freddy. Web3 Warhead, Block Mage, appreciate all of you. And I saw some were in the Dome on Air space yesterday. Enjoyed that. It was actually a great conversation. Another domain OGer or OG domainer. And one of the most, I think, impressive things to me with what Doma is doing is they've attracted so many of these OG domainers. Like the Chad who we had on yesterday holds his portfolio is 20,000 domains. Sold some of the biggest domains out there, and quite frankly, he was deep in the Ethereum streets. He's with crypto OG. He was tokenizing domains as well, but yet instead of viewing Doma as a threat or a competitor or making it PvP, he is, he's collaborating. He's leaning into it, and not only tokenizing domains, he's coming on things like Doma on Air and sharing with their audience some takes and alpha, and just. It's the team is really impressive, and the leadership in that industry that they've been able to attract is really impressive. Also, I saw a few domains sell on Doma yesterday, and I am biased. They are a sponsor. This is not a sponsored segment. They're not paying me to say this. I truly, genuinely believe in the team, and grateful for them believing in us and the 12-month campaign we're going to be kicking off, or we have kicked off. And the more I learn, the more I get to interact with them, the bigger fan I become. It's real stuff. It's not hype. It's, again, not to do the live read. It's not scheduled today, but it's a $360 billion industry that is that they're really bringing on chain, and they're unlocking new functionality. They took a digitally native asset, which are domains, and they're bringing them on chain and unlocking more functionality, more capabilities. They're taking an existing product and making it, I believe, significantly better, making it more accessible, especially these premium domains, to far more people. And but because a domain getting tokenized isn't going to rip up to $1 billion market cap or $100 million market cap. They shouldn't. Like, domains don't sell for that much. AI.com sold for $70 million. Huge sale. But put that in perspective. That's like one of the biggest of domain sales. So it'd be unrealistic to expect a tokenized domain to exceed 70 million at this point. Even a fraction of that. So it is not. You got to just change your mindset when you're looking at a token. And if a tokenized domain builds up to a market cap of $1 million, it's a big deal. Like, in the world of domains, if a domain sells for $1 million, you'd hear it be the talk of the town. Like, that's a massive valuation on a domain. 100 grand's a massive valuation on a like, say, a non-Grail domain. So anyways, I'll stop the free plug on Doma, but truly enjoyed the chat. I'll put it up top if anyone wants to go catch it later. I will pin the Doma on Air episode. It was episode 7 yesterday. Next week, we're going to have we'll be hosting the owners of smoothie.com, and looking forward to that one as well. But yeah, that's been up top. If anyone wants to go check that out later, let me know your thoughts. I'm open to any and all feedback as well. Won't hurt my feelings. So other things to get into this morning before we do our coffee with Captain and market update, we will, debating timing wise, maybe last thing on the World Cup. Oof. Really feel for the Canadian kid with the broken leg. Brutal. I mean, I'm not gonna show it. Images, if you're queasy, it might make you a little wheezy. Ishmael Kone, or Kone, Kone. I'm not sure how you pronounce the last name. Ishmael Kone, I'll say. Like, in fact, the media has been disabled. I don't know what copyright, or they asked not to show it. But it is, if you get queasy when you see that sort of stuff, don't watch. I mean, you can't see the bone because he's wearing shin guards and tall socks, but it's very evident it was a compound fracture. Like, bone popped out of his skin, and having experienced a tib fib, the same injury. I mean, different. Mine was extreme sled riding, and his was playing world class soccer. But a tib fib fracture where my tibia popped out of my bone, or popped out of my leg. In the recovery, like, his World Cup's definitely over, and I know it's also, that was 27 years ago. So medicine technology is far more advanced today, and he's got access to the best orthopedic surgeons and recovery aids and peptides and all that stuff that just some maybe existed back then, but I certainly didn't go through it into my athletic career. Again, I know very, very different, but I do hope that he has a good recovery and is able to be seen back on the pitch next year. But brutal, and you can hear. So put that in perspective. Like, think about someone kicking so hard that it snaps someone's leg. Like, it's I mean, it's like if you saw like the Conor McGregor leg snap in UFC, I would say this even worse than that. So he'll have some nice hardware, rod, and a few screws in the leg, and like mine, it was, not to gross anyone out, but like for the first month of recovery, like I was in the hospital for a week, hospital bed at home for another week. There was I had cast on, but then there was like a little trap door in the cast, and my mom or dad had to, twice a day, 3 times a day, had to open up the trap door, pull out all the gauze, and like repack this hole in my leg. It was like, it was like about this big. You could fit an entire bouncy ball down it if you wanted to. And I couldn't even look. I get queasy with that sort of. I couldn't even watch. I'd like turn my head when they were doing it, and even just knowing they were doing it made me sick to my stomach. So I get a little PTSD when I see those tib fib compound fractures like that. Yeah, I'm sure it was an emergency surgery. It's just same situation. Not same, but same injury. And went right in. I mean, it didn't look like that, but like it felt like my leg was like I was laying on my side. It felt like my leg was dangling. I couldn't move. I screamed like a 12-year-old schoolgirl at the bottom of like 300 feet down a snowy hill and had, I don't know, it was like 8 different EMS and firefighters had to walk up this 300 feet and about a foot of snow with me on a stretcher. Speaking of core memories that aren't the most pleasant, that's just something I'll never forget. And therefore anytime I see anyone else with that tib-fib fracture, fortunately you can recover from it. Fibulas are, not that big of a deal, but your tibia is that, your big shin bone. And hope he recovers well. Hans, thank you very much for the Pingu tip. Greatly appreciate that as always. GM to teacher Katie over there in the abstract streets as well. And not to be remiss, don't want to forget about our the Spaces audio. We're live as always on Spaces audio, Spaces video, YouTube, abstract, all the above. Congrats, Eddie Crypto, just hit a 2.5x last night on BZ. Nice Venusaur, Pokemon Venusaur, PSA 9. Congrats on that. And I'm dragging a little bit. I actually slept in this morning, much more so than normal. Girlfriend didn't have to go to work because of Juneteenth, and so we slept in a little bit, but I'm still woke up a little groggy after these late night soccer games. Let's hard shift gears. Let's just get into. Should we do a market update first and get that out of the way, or should we? Do we want to just jump right into ApeFest and where it's going to be? It's not going to be the whole conversation this morning, but seen some theories. There's a few leading theories. I'm curious if anyone has any different, but we'll at least fly over that. We'll start there, and then we'll do market update maybe around the top of the hour. But a few takes. The one that's I think. Well, first of all, let me go grab the thing that started it all. And I said this morning, I meant it. Like no one does events like Yuga, even down to how they announce the announcements and the tease of the locations, the tease of where it's going to be. While I know a lot of people would have liked to have details sooner, would have liked to know like where it's going to be, when it's going to be before now. It is what it is, and a lot of variables there. I'm not going to pretend to be on that side of the fence, and when they announce things, I don't know, but they had we simulcast a little bit of at the clubhouse yesterday at the end of it, where he's like, oh, we're going to have a big packet of information where everything's going to be. That'll be coming out soon. And then they're just having fun with this, because this is what they tweeted out afterwards, was this red image that's got in the bottom right. If you're for our podcast listeners later, it's just a red square basically. And then in the bottom right, it says 1017, which is circled. In the bottom left, there's an X. If you look down right here in the bottom left, there's an X. And this is like setting the theme for, ApeFest. If you look at like prior years, let me go back to this for a second. If you look at prior years, you can see like they started the Hong Kong had a very, very distinct theme. Lisbon really leaned into Lisbon culture and the sardines. You can see, why am I drawing a blank? Curtis in the sardine can. Then we had Vegas was, they came out like alien theme, and you got Curtis getting sucked up into a spaceship. The first ApeFest was just still my favorite, I think, poster of all time. It was just leaned into the apes and bananas at the time. You can see like I still have the banana in my X handle. I think the official account still does as well, maybe. And then ApeFest 2 was more, I don't even know how to describe ApeFest 2, like New York vibes, no sleep till ApeFest, and really leaned into like music, hip hop culture, as they had 4 nights of incredible music lineup. This is, sorry, Thomas said, let's do market. ApeFest more interesting than the market. All right, well, he was the one person that weighed in on that. So I will, you get your wishes today, Thomas. We will, we'll do a quick market update, and we'll come right back to ApeFest and dive deeper in there with all your theories. So bring your theories. We'll also give the room a few more minutes to warm up. Tell your ape friends if they have a hot take, because I've seen a few. My first thing when I saw that 1017 was like, okay, it's going to be October 17th. I went ahead and put the save the date in my calendar. It may or may not be. It may or may not be October 17th. There's some other theories as to what that 1017 might be, and we'll hit on that in a minute. But market related, man, it was not a great day yesterday. It does seem we've recovered a little bit. I mean, things are still going to be down on the day, but let me do a proper intro here. This is the daily market update on Coffee with Captain. We'll be right back.
Coffee brewing. Yeah, the market's in play, charts on the screen. What the numbers gonna say? We got offer in the cup every single day. Coffee with Captain, market update on the way.
So I think part of what led to this sell-off yesterday, I mean, maybe it could be the on again, off again peace treaty in the Middle East. Sounds like the war is not ending anytime soon. What do I know? But I think that was part of it. And then strategy, Sailor's company strategy tanked. And I think that kind of probably created some liquidations, added fear. And again, we've recovered a little bit. Bitcoin down 2.49% on the day, 62.5. ETH down 3.5% on the day. Everything's pretty much red. XRP down 3%. Solana down 4%. It's $68. Hyperliquid down 6.73%. It's down to $66. Tron is up 0.85%, and that's the big winner. Zcash down 5%. Stellar down 10%. Like it is red across the board. And these numbers are actually a little better than where things seemingly bottomed out yesterday. So not looking great there. Fear and greed also had got up to like 25, and it quickly sold off or dipped down to 19 now. Here it reminds me, we are going to do a pack rip. So in addition to Coffee with Captain, we'll do a Chimpers pack rip today, if assuming time permits. Mint price on those was 128. Still open for a few more days. If you want to get in there and rip some packs, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But let's head over to the NFT leaders. 1 day volume, Hypers leading the way, up 2.5%, 245 hype. Apes up 2.9% on the ApeFest teas, 9.238 now. Pudgies flat, down 1% to 4.05 or 4.5. Racers, this is a new one. 3,466 sales. Let's see what Racers is. Looks like it's pre-reveal, so just minted. And yeah, I don't know anything about it. I will say this. I'll go grab a post from NFT Drew. Yes, NFT mints are starting to pop off again. When that happens, unfortunately, it brings back the bad actors and those that just aren't necessarily, they're just here to they're doing low price mints. They'll grift a few $1,000, rinse and repeat. Same playbook as 2021. So I do want to call attention to this. And let me go. I just pinned it up top, but let me go pull up NFT Drew's post. And I want to call out some of these specifically. Maybe there's a good actor in all these. Maybe they're not all follow this line, but I'm going to quote Drew here. Why are there so many low price NFT mint launches lately? I decided to check the list of hype upcoming mints for quick red flags, since there's been a sharp increase in smaller low price NFT collections launching nonstop lately. Dead Mundos, 2,500 supply, free mint. They joined in April of this year. Pre-mint was botted, X detected. It's UK based. Void Saints, 2,200 supply, 0.0033, joined in May, pre-mint X detected, Turkey based. Bullies, 2,400 supply, free mint, joined in March of 2024, and pre-mint again also botted. This one is North American based. They joined in March 24, but handled change in 26. Ava Zapki, this was 4,400 supply, 0.0025 to 0.0042. Again, pre-mint X also botted, Georgia based. Where Lumi, 3,300 supply, free to 0.0006, pre-mint botted, X detected, US based. Boon-ish NFT, 1,900 supply, 0.001 to 0.013, pre-mint X detected. You can catch the reoccurring theme here. A lot of botting and low price mints. Strain Catch, another one. No botting detected there, but 10,000 supply, South Asia based. Crowley, 800 supply, again, pre-mint botted. Dolls, pre-mint botted. Dookies, pre-mint botted. Most interesting, there's a ton of fresh X accounts that are botted like crazy, supposedly from South Asia. They're all priced low enough to scrape a few thousand, then they rinse and repeat. It's the same playbook from 2021. I'm not saying all these projects are scams, but they are strong indicators that you should not get involved unless you genuinely like the art, assuming it isn't stolen art, since 99.999% will amount to nothing regardless of how hype they are. It takes 2 seconds to check the join date, check handles change, locations, total post, how botted they are. Very interesting, nothing less. I would do a follow-up post in the future on this. So just, again, play it safe out there. Don't, I mean, a good rule of thumb is you don't have to know, the founder, the team doesn't have to be doxxed, but like, I'm probably not minting a collection from a brand new account and have no idea who the team is. You know, they're Anon, they are, you know, new accounts, et cetera, et cetera. Now, if one of you who's been here every day and you show up and you decide to do a free or low cost mint, very different. Like, I'll support, like if Rocksoul does a mint, I'm in. You know, known person, been contributor to the space for years, and would happily support that. So it's not, I'm not saying that all low cost or free mints are a scam or a quick grift, or they're just trying to extract a few $1,000s. But because I know I've been talking a lot about the success of some new mints. Normies, again, big success on a new mint as of late, but the founder's been around forever. It's not some random, you know, Anon account that just created a new account. I don't know if Racers falls in that category or not. I just, as I saw that, thought it was worth calling attention to Drew's post. And as always, thank you, Drew, for keeping us all safe, for doing your part to keep us all safe. Greatly appreciated. Mutant Ape Yacht Club up 1.2% to 1.38. Trolls, again, new mints, it's pumping. Just proceed with caution. Could be great, but I saw it has no tie-in or connection seemingly to the Trolls meme coin. Milady's down flat on the day. Little Pudgy's up 1%. Non-playable character up 6.8% to 0.08. OK Guy up 60% now. The other day I said wouldn't be surprised if it runs up to 0.01. It's heading there. Again, could be just a quick reorders. Another good example of someone who's been around for a while. And Dario De Siena is, I don't think he's going anywhere. Now, does it guarantee that the collection's going to be successful? No, he's had others. He's done good. Way back, he's OG Ape, did a lot of custom art, derivatives, and he's had a few collections, and some have done well. But I think at the end of the day, most have trended to the collections, anyways. The PFP collections have kind of trended to zero over long enough time. Maybe Reorder does that, maybe it doesn't. But some of these you can they may get some motion in the short term. Portraits up 1% on the day. Cyberkong's up 3.8% to 1.75. Quirky's down 4%. Finally lost that 1 ETH floor. I wouldn't be surprised to see him recover that today, though. Blue Pets down 5%. Brain Rot up 13.8%. Normies, as I mentioned, down 3%, but still 0.48. Meta Winners up 1.2%. Something else I got Meta Winners in my chat. I'll see if I can get back. Book Games up 11% to 0.097. I had no idea Book Games had a floor like that. That's wild. I know they do the burns and stuff and continue to drive utility back there, but I'm still a little surprised to see that. G's on Ape up 32%, 4,400 Ape. I wonder what Rita did over there to drive that pump. Love to see it. I will get into Sailor and strategy here later. I saw Mayhem. I see the clip you shared there. I also saw a pretty good take on that's not as bearish as you might think. And but we'll come back to that later today if time permits. But that's our daily market update. Just again, word of caution if you're getting into the free mint mania. Most of these will not, they'll be zero, and not like years. They'll be zero within weeks or months. And pay attention to things like where how fresh the account was it botted, and what does ownership look like? If you have 11% unique ownership and you've got dozens of accounts that hold several hundred of those assets, the bundled NFT mints usually don't do great. They're doing a burn for a comic book. Okay, so that currently the book friends are doing a burn for the comic book. Not sure if it's still open to entering or if they have something else that they're doing. That would make sense. Joey, go ahead and get in here. We will. I'm excited I'll share the BZ. The tweet, we talked about it yesterday. I don't think the tweet was out yet, but I will share the raffles are live post from BZ. It's also not lost to me. The first thing I saw there was a red image that was eerily reminiscent to the ApeFest tease. But to go ahead, feel free to get in on this wherever you'd like.
Yeah, buddy. I wanted to tell you also, I DM'd you the code for today.
Appreciate it.
So I'm not sure if you saw it. Hopefully you think it's funny as I try to find some humor in the codes I create. Yeah, raffles launched yesterday. Incredible amount of participation already. The response has been great. Obviously, it's new, so if you guys have any feedback, please don't be afraid. Jump in the feedback channel, open up a support ticket if there's an issue. Let us know. We want to know what you guys think as we continue to build. I guess I also came up because you were talking about these, like, you know, these low cost mints and like where these people are located and whatever. And it's like, I wonder who's like, we don't really have a lot of new entrants in this space. So like, who are the people that are like, that don't know what to check, that don't know, like, you know, that are minting these? Or is this really just like old NFT vets that are still here trying to feel something and just going for it anyway? Like,
I mean, there could be some that are just trading off momentum. I just think most of it's not real. I think most of it's all not speaking for all these collections, but I think a lot of times you probably have a group of people that if there's 11% ownership, they probably majority of them know each other, and they're just hoping that someone's like seeing the charts and like, oh, it's up 40% in the day and it's still cheap. And they're just, and then so you see people that are momentum buying or buying off leaderboards and not double clicking, not doing the research, because there has been other legitimate mints that have pumped recently. So it's like, they're not these, I don't know, we'll call them scammers or grifters, extractors, I don't know, fill in whatever word you feel is most appropriate, but they're not doing this in the depths of a bear. They're doing it when people are seeing success. And there's been a lot of mints, low to free cost mints that are legitimate, like real builders, real artists, and they're having success. They're minting out, that they're trading, you know, the floor is going up afterwards. And so now, because of that, you have more people now paying attention to new mints. You have more people paying attention to, you know, the NFT leaderboards. And when they see something popping, they're like, oh, this is the next one. I want to get in on this one. And they go sweep a few, and then you're the exit liquidity. That, again, my guess. I don't know, but that would be my assumption.
Yeah, interesting. I guess so, right? I guess there's still people out there that just trade on charts, and I guess there's still money to be made, even if you're buying 100 and they go from 50 cents to or $1 to $2, right? You're still doubling your money, and if you do that enough times, I guess there's still money to be made in this space. It's interesting. Like, my idea of gambling now, well, not gambling, we'll call it degenning, is taking cards that I buy raw or find and sending them to PSA to grade, whether it's for $80 or $150 or $350, and seeing if I get a PSA 10. That's my new degen behavior, because some of these cards, if they get 9s and 10s, are worth a lot. So I've traded in my, as we all know, I'm a terrible trader, so do the opposite of what I do in this space. But I've traded in NFT trading and token trading for trying to grade, get PSA 9s and PSA 10s for some of these cards. That's my new degen.
Well, I think it's wise. I think it's not only it has real momentum now. It's also something you're passionate about, and you have you have knowledge. You have an edge there. Like, you understand the market, you understand the cards, and I think that is wise. All right, let's do this. We're gonna head back to. We will get coffee with Captain in here. Joey, thanks for the code. Appreciate that. We got a $50 silver BZ claw pool coming up here soon for someone in the audience today. If you want to play the claw machine, let us know in the chat. That way I pick someone you're going to be here, and you got to let us know whether you want to swap and take the buyout offer, or you want to keep and vault the card. So let us know. But before we get into coffee with Captain, I see Machiavelli's already rocking the red background. I shared it earlier. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit so you can see. Now that's as much as far as it's going to let me go. Again, red background. The theme is set. 1017 in circles. X in the bottom. I first thought, okay, they're giving us the date. 1017 is the date. It's going to be October 17th. It's a Saturday. Lines up to when they've done historically ApeFest has been in October or November. So that made sense. May or may not be October 17th.
That kind of kills your thesis about having like a party for Art Basel, though, right?
I don't think it'll be during Art Basel. I think it'd be a little much. I wouldn't be surprised like maybe the weekend before or the weekend after, but I don't think it's going to be during Art Basel. And here's the thing. If so, my thesis, and I'm going to share all the takes I've seen on the timeline, because there's some that have kind of surprised me. Guccina, I saw out there, was talking about how do you say Guccione? Guccione, I think is the proper pronunciation.
Yeah, Guccione.
Guccione thinks Atlanta, and I saw a couple people say Atlanta, and I'll share his post here in a minute. Why that was surprising to me. My gut thought was it's October 17th, and I think I said yesterday it's going to be Miami. I think Miami's still a possibility, but after some more research, I'm convinced it's going to be Amsterdam. I think we're getting we're finally getting Amsterdam. It's been talked about, it's been speculated, it's been requested by many community members for a long time. 1017 is the area code or the zip code. 1017 is tied to Amsterdam.
Postal code.
Postal
code. Actual postal code for Amsterdam, and it's also a Saturday this year.
Yeah, so
Isn't Amsterdam's color traditionally
red?
Like, or maybe or that's Netherlands is orange.
Well,
but isn't Amsterdam part of Netherlands? Like,
maybe orange, but you got like I think red fits with red light district. Yeah,
it's a red flag with a black stripe down the middle with 3 white X's in the middle of the black stripe. That is
specifically that's Amsterdam's flag.
Yes, that's specifically Amsterdam's flag.
Yeah, so I think I'm changing my guess to. Yeah, I'm changing my guess to Amsterdam. I think that's where it's going to be. I think which is, I was kind of hoping to be in the States, so my girlfriend could go, but I would be.
What does this do for your thesis though on when the club opens? Forget like the idea that like, hey, they're going to do it at the club for Art Basel, but like, what is does that mean that because they're planning ApeFest in Amsterdam, like the club's not going to happen in 2026 now? Or do you still think they're going to do it?
I don't know. I don't think ApeFest will be at the club. I think if they do it in Miami, it might be like, hey, here's where we're having it. Here's a ribbon cutting or a grand opening, or maybe they do like one of the side events there, and it's like a tour of the build out. I don't think ApeFest is good. I don't think the clubhouse will be big enough to support everyone.
Do you still think they'll open the club this year? Or just push your thesis back to 2027 because if they do go to Amsterdam, a lot of time and money involved with that.
Maybe. I don't know. I think if they do it in Miami, because I still think my second guess would probably be Miami. If they do it in Miami on October 17th, then I think there's a good chance that the clubhouse is actually open for Basel. I think that timeline would fit. I do have the as Machiavelli described this, the city flag of Amsterdam is red flag, black stripe, and then the X's, which you got a red box, you got the X on the bottom. 1017 is the postal code. Like I think Amsterdam is in the lead right now. Just makes a ton of sense. And it's been, if you go back and if you had a bot that went and scanned every member of the Bored Ape Yacht Club and where they like requested or wanted it's the only city that has like I know the A, so maybe it's easy, maybe that carries more weight, but like there's been requests for Amsterdam to do ApeFest in Amsterdam since I can remember, probably since like ApeFest 2. The first year, we knew it was going to be New York. Maybe ApeFest 2, we also knew New York. But I think after that, I think it has been speculated that it is Amsterdam has been on the list. And if you also think about, so ApeFest 1 and 2 were in New York, and then they went international. Then we got Hong Kong, then we got Lisbon. So we got Asia, then we got Europe, and then we went back to the US for Vegas. Maybe they do. I think if we do the US, I still think it's going to be Miami. I'll get to Guccione's Atlanta take here in a second. But I think just like if you talk about like the rotation of a annual meetup like this, I do think it makes a lot of sense that Europe being back in the rotation. It's been a couple years. There's a big concentration of apes in Europe, and I think it's that checks out. So for many reasons, I'm now picking I'm now picking ApeFest as or Amsterdam as my leading guess. Yeah, here's some more from Puff. Says, Amsterdam confirmed. I do think it is the most likely. But let me get to the other takes here, because some said, well, maybe it also is cannabis friendly. And I said this morning, but if it is Amsterdam, I think apes could do to space cakes what the Scots have done to beer in Boston. We might consume all of the space cakes. There might be no space cakes left in Amsterdam after.
I'm eating space cake right now, Cat.
Vicky, and someone asked, is there a 1017 address in Miami? There is. Vicky actually identified one in Wynwood. 1017 is right off.
It's an apartment building, and then there's also a restaurant. Neither one of them could house the Bored Ape Yacht Club.
You sure the restaurant couldn't be retrofitted?
Yeah, I'm pretty positive. Rock Soul is from Miami, and me and him drove around in December last Art Basel looking for the spot where the clubhouse was going to be, literally for hours. Okay. And so as soon as Vicky posted that, I called Rock Soul and was like, yo, does this have any merit at all? And he's like, no. He's like, I'm going to even go drive by the thing. And then he's all like, yeah. There's no way that that's the club, or that's the club. That's going to be where ApeFest is. So we're clear on that. And you can literally type 1017 into any city or any neighborhood in any city, and it'll pull up a block like that and say 1017 on it. You know what I mean?
We also, you know that Yuga does events better than anyone else and does create. Like I genuinely, I'm glad they did it this way and said, oh, here's where it's going to be. Here's all the details. This is like OG Bored Ape Yacht Club vibes. It gets not only the community speculating, we have Riggs getting in on the fun today. Riggs drops 1017 Records, and 1017 Records is actually Gucci Mane's label. That's Mayhem and Riggs guess. So maybe the 1017 has nothing to do with the date or the area code.
That's one of my theories. I was like, yo, this is just a sneak peek at Gucci Mane performing for us in the future here.
Could be. And I'm not even joking. Like, it is one of my favorite things about, it's not just ApeFest. It's like, but ApeFest is part of it. Like, this used to be the whole like surprise and delight in the community. It doesn't have nothing to do with floor price. It's not people are rushing in and floor dripping up because you're speculating airdrops coming. It's fun. It's fun when you got thousands of people who are passionate about something. And it's the best I could liken it to would be like, like, I don't know, like a bunch of Game of Thrones fans speculating on, who's going to be the king, who's getting off next episode, and the, like event TV and talking at the water cooler or listening to a podcast after the show. It's like, it's leaning into community and experiential. I'm a big fan of how they're moving, and it's not the first time, but good to see they haven't lost that. This is how you like create hype and speculation and buzz. It's not about like, you better go buy this asset because there's going to be a 5-figure airdrop next week. It's like, no, just have some fun with it. Like, be entertaining. Yeah, go ahead.
Illa came into the space last night. I held like a 5-hour space yesterday saying ApeFest confirmed, you know what I'm saying, with the question mark, then a little red dot 1017. And Illa comes in, he's listening to us for like quite a while. Then he comes up and he says, this is what it's about. You know what I'm saying? He's like, this speculation, everybody having fun trying to solve the puzzle, you know what I'm saying? We got 70 apes in the space. Everybody's coming up, giving up their takes and their different opinions on what they think it might be. But like, he's like, this is what it's about. He's like, this is that 2021 vibe. This is the energy we're trying to bring back. This is how it started. And he's like, and you see it, just the community take it and run with it right off the bat. And he's like, these are the vibes right here. And then he said something and he dipped out. Like, he just like one of those, like, almost like he was giving us a clue or something, and then he was gone. It was funny, but it's exactly right. Like those puzzles, those riddles, those that speculation of like, yo, where are we going? We're all meeting our friends from around the world again this year. I like that. You know what I mean? I like the fact that people have like put their tinfoil hat on. And
what? It's not just Gucci Mane. Figgy is the master of lore. You may or may not like 10KTF. You may or may not made a bag. You may have lost a bag on 10KTF. At its peak, it was the best storytelling in the space. it was incredible. Every Thursday, people get together, they speculate. Like it's just like it was baked full of lore, and it's I don't know. I was sad to see that come to an end. I get it, and they're making the right moves, and I'm grateful Figgy's in the role he is today. And 10KTF's not dead. Like could very well have a comeback, but Figgy is the master of lore, and they are leaning into it once again, and I love to see it. This is Guccione. Say it again, Machiavelli. Guccione's theory thinks ApeFest in Atlanta. The 1017 Brick Squad record label was founded in Atlanta. It was launched in 2007 by Gucci Mane. The hip hop collective and label were highly influential in shaping the high energy mosh pit era of modern trap music. Its notable original roster includes Atlanta-based artists like Waka Flocka and OJ the Juice Man. Waka Flocka is also, I mean, he's a regular here on the show. This is what we need to get Waka Flocka up on the.
He's also a mutant ape.
We need to get Waka Flocka in here. Go ping Waka Flocka. Let's get him on stage and see if he can share any alpha with us, because I'm moving Atlanta up the list. Like I think I still think Amsterdam, but I'm getting
ATL.
I'm getting sold on ATL. I was not thinking even you were close, because I thought if they do the US, especially if they do the southeast part of the US, it's Miami. I see the thesis. I think Atlanta is now
what's funny is Adam Weissman was talking with us, and he said, I know where ApeFest is gonna be. And there's a group of us, like, right? And in there, and he's like, and we're like, he's like, no, it's not New York. He's like, I'll just tell you it's on the East Coast. And I was like, damn, it's on the East Coast, huh? And then like I was like, yo, it gotta be like Beeple's Studio or something like that. Like, does anybody check the address to Beeple's Studio? Because that was my first guess. I wanted Beeple's Studio. You know, I'm like, yo, with the relationship that Figgy and Beeple have, Beeple has a state-of-the-art studio. Figgy's like his original company does all these shows and everything like that. I'm like, they could get together.
I mean,
and most awesomest ApeFest.
Yeah, and if you're not aware, like Beeple and Figgy are boys. Like Figgy onboarded Beeple into Web3. Beeple used to work for Figgy in his Web2 events company. Guccione's next guess is Tokyo, because the shade of red reminded us of 10KTF type of artwork, and Figgy being the owner of that project makes you wonder, especially because the whole story was about Neo Tokyo. I think Tokyo is a possibility, and I don't think they're going to do Asia, because I think the tell there is Figgy's doing the Asian tour right now. Now you could say, oh, he's doing the Asian tour to set up things for ApeFest. I think it's already decided. I think the Asia tour is because they're not doing ApeFest in Asia. I think he's giving Asia some love and building relationships with the community there, because we're not going to be in Asia for ApeFest. I could be wrong. Like you could argue the other side, that the whole reason he's in Asia right now is to promote may not promote directly for ApeFest, but to start building that groundswell in Asia. So that is a possibility. But
yesterday, Cap, at Meet at the Clubhouse, he said that this is just the first tour, but like there will be other trips later this year, and this is just kicking things off.
Hearing some pushback on Beeple Studio, because it's very hard to get in and out of. The infra around Beeple Studio is non-existent, hard to get out of, would need massive amount of buses. Charleston is very hard to get to internationally. I'm surprised by that. I'm not, I've never lived in North Carolina. But I've flown in and out of Charleston as a connector dozens of times. When I used to live in Southwest Indiana, it was like the main hub. Like I couldn't get anywhere direct, and I almost always it would fly to Charleston. I thought a decent airport. Again, I've never boarded a plane or exited the airport there, but it's been part of my route dozens of times, and I thought Charleston actually had a pretty decent airport. But I'll take you all your words for it.
It's more like from what I remember, it's more like a regional than it is like a hub. So
it's definitely an international airport.
It would probably be difficult for people to get in and out of there. And it's also, I mean, Charleston's a beautiful city, but I wouldn't think of Charleston as a place where like H would want to go. Like
I agree.
Like,
I agree.
Looking at like Victorian, old like you go on, like Charleston is like, let's go on a city tour and look at old Victorian architecture or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't doesn't scream like 8 vibes, Charleston, South Carolina.
I agree. It'd be cool to do the Beeple Studio thing. I don't think no disrespect to Beeple. I haven't been to the Beeple Studio yet. I would like to, but I don't think that's going to get a lot of people excited, both in the US and outside the US. Like, oh yes, let's go to Charleston, South Carolina. No knock on Charleston, South Carolina. It's just,
especially in October. You'd want to go in the summer if you were going to do it, because that's when it's most beautiful in Charleston.
It is an international airport, though. It's not a regional airport. It's definitely an international airport. So it's possible, but I think that is probably a long shot at this point. Cool Chicks agreeing on Atlanta. Says I could definitely go to Atlanta. You got Gucci Mane, 1017 Records, Atlanta Hip Hop. Also, we can't forget about, this is what we should do. Has Illa, has he ever produced anything with any of that crew? Has Illa ever produced anything with 1017 Records? Has he ever done anything with Gucci Mane or Waka Flocka? I don't know, but I would be curious if there's
I'm on it.
If there's a connection there. There is literally a yacht club in Asheville. Here's the plan. Per our guy Zane, party at Beeples in Charleston, 4-hour trip to Asheville, party with Gucci Mane at the yacht club in Asheville. It's a joke. I don't think this is happening. Speaking of airports, though, another feather in Atlanta's cap. You want to talk about international airports? It's an international airport hub. Riggs, I agree with you there. Atlanta traffic sucks, and you might be 20 miles away from the Atlanta airport where we're having the party, and it might take you 3 hours to get there if you hit traffic bad. Having grown up in the Midwest, our common vacation spot domestically was sometimes like the Outer Banks or somewhere on the East Coast, but most often, if you went and surveyed 100 people in Ohio, Indiana, etc., I'm going to guess, where are you going? If you're going to vacation in the U.S., where are you going? You're probably going to get 75% of the people are going to say going to Florida. And so many, many times driving, forgetting my career and professional driving, just like for vacations, you'd hit traffic on the north side of Atlanta and you'd be just stuck for 3 hours. So while the airport is great, traffic in Atlanta is awful, especially for a city you don't necessarily think is like as a New York or Chicago, etc. It is, or in LA, the traffic can be just as bad or worse. I think
it's awful. I was there for softball, and if you have something on the south side of the city and you're on the north side of the city, it's and there's no explanation. It's not like, oh, because it's rush hour, or oh, because there's an accident. Like, there's literally just nonstop traffic.
It's always like a 30-minute drive from the airport to wherever you're going to.
What's crazy to me is they have like the biggest highways in the country. Their highways are like 6 to 8 lanes wide.
Yep.
On both sides, and they still have traffic.
Yeah, it's now that you bring it up. Their highways are big. There's not that many people. I mean, there's a lot of people. It's a big city, but it's not in New York. It's not in LA. It's not Chicago. And
the traffic's bad in Miami, and it's not as bad as Atlanta.
Sometimes. And that's the thing with Atlanta, I think is like, it's seemingly hit or miss. Like sometimes I buzzed right through Atlanta, no problems. I also, when I was building the repair franchise, the company who, even before they acquired us or before that was public, it was they were my seed investor before I merged with the franchise. Like my startup, they were an investor. And so like they're north of Atlanta, right across the highway from Battery Park. And so I'm trying to think, like, I think they invested in like 2014 or 2015. And then I merged with the larger entity in 2017. They bought us in 2019. And then I ultimately left in 2023. So like it was about 10 years that I was in Atlanta multiple times a year. And sometimes no issues. You'd buzz right through. Other times you'd be like, oh my God, this is awful. Anyways, I digress. No one cares to hear us vent about Atlanta traffic. Charleston,
it's like a boomer conversation talking about traffic.
Yeah, it is. It's like, we're going to talk today on Coffee with Captain. We're going to talk about the weather, and we're going to talk about traffic. That is welcome to the show, everyone. I kid. No Charleston slander, not allowed. Per Zonko. And also, if we do have ApeFest Charleston, our guy Zane is opening up his couch. He's got space for 3 apes on his couch in Asheville. We will hold you to that. If we have an ApeFest Charleston, everyone, we'll do a raffle here on the show for who gets the 3 spots on the couch. And I do think if they do Atlanta, it'll be somewhere like Centennial Park, Battery Park. It'll be somewhere where you're not going to have to drive around. It's not going to be like Miami where you got to deal with the traffic. It's just going to be getting there, because there's enough areas in Atlanta where it's like self-contained. You could either walk or a short Uber. Like if you've never been to Battery Park, which is where the Braves play, it's awesome. It's like, in my opinion, it's like how you should build modern day arenas and stadiums. You could go to a Braves game. You actually can go out in Battery Park and have a great time in the off season, or there's no game. It's a really cool development. It's mixed use, commercial, retail, residential, and it's like a city within a city. There's several of those spots in Atlanta. So while we're going to be old man boomer venting about Atlanta traffic, once you get to wherever it would be in Atlanta, it's no problem. Like it's not like you're like in New York. New York sucks because you like, I remember, I think it was ApeFest 2, not an exaggeration. I think I spent $700 on Ubers. No, not an exaggeration. It was somewhere between $300 and $700. 700 might have been what Steve and I spent combined, but it was, you're in an Uber for a half hour to 45 minutes everywhere you go, and every event was like so spread out. Atlanta's not like, Atlanta's spread out, yes, but the events, especially for, now that is not being fair because it was not just Yuga events. It was everything. ApeFest was at Pier 17, but it was the same week as NFT and YC, and just events were all over the city. Atlanta, it would most likely all be in the same spot if they did that. Jay says, I don't see them wasting ApeFest on Miami if the clubhouse isn't open yet. I would think they would wait until it's open. Maybe. I hear you. I think I could see it as like a primer. I could see it as like, hey, like them showing off. I don't think it would be, even once the clubhouse is open, I don't think we'll ever have an ApeFest at the clubhouse. I just don't think it's big enough, or I don't think it will be big enough. But I could see them doing like a side event, doing some tour.
Like an exclusive preview walkthrough.
Yes.
Of the clubhouse.
Agreed.
If ApeFest is in Miami.
Agreed. That's what I think. If we do Miami, I don't think the clubhouse will be open, but I agree. I think it'd be like a preview, maybe a ribbon cutting, maybe ground, something like that. But I hear you, Jay. That makes sense. Frosty says Lisbon was cool, even though drove a lot of Uber. Ubers were like $10, though they were super cheap. Yeah, not the case in New York. I'm curious though, if you have any other. So I think Amsterdam is in the lead. I think Amsterdam is the most likely destination. Atlanta is probably now number 2, Miami number 3, Tokyo number 4. That's where I'm heading out right now, but my opinion could be swayed. I could be convinced another direction. Yeah, Mayhem rickshaws. Last time I took a rickshaw, it was like $200. Forget that. Give me an Uber. Give me modern technology. I don't need to pay $200 to be driven around by a horse somewhere. I could run faster than. I'm not going to run, but yeah, cool.
Rickshaws aren't horses. Rickshaws are people.
So right? Even worse.
Isn't a rickshaw when there's a guy? Like those are the ones where in Asia where the guy's in front. And he's
maybe
running you
I don't know. Even worse if it's a human carrying me around. Like even worse than a horse. Yeah, I don't need. I'd rather.
I think if it's a horse-drawn carriage, right?
Give me the modern technology. Here we've got some alpha, by the way. Not just Atlanta, other major cities. It's real alpha. Riggs has been beating this drum for a while. It's called Empower. It's a new rideshare app. It's about 50% cheaper than Uber or Lyft. It's a new model where drivers subscribe and then they get a much larger portion of the rides. If it's in Atlanta, download Empire. It's one of the cities they operate in. So yeah, keep that down. Dort says Miami number 1, Amsterdam number 2, everything else at a distant 3. Why Miami 1, Dort? Why do you think Miami is going to be the lead? And yeah, I will say Amsterdam probably. I don't know. We can put an over under on it. What's the amount of times if we get Amsterdam? What's the amount of times I'd say? What's the over under? The amount of times I would say Amsterdam between now and ApeFest. Also, if you want to get,
we can start a cow sheet.
Yeah.
Or a poly market.
Exactly. We would actually do a myriad market to give them some volume. It's a joke. No offense, Ferg, if you listen to the replay. Dort is manifesting Miami because it's his hometown. Speaking of Miami, we got Roxel going to come up and give business take. A local Miamier. Roxel, do you think ApeFest will be in Miami? Or are you leaning with me that it's going to be Amsterdam? Or do you think somewhere else? What's your thoughts here?
So I'm thinking Miami, and the reason why is because in the Wynwood area, they've been promoting this really big event on October 16th and 17th.
Oh.
Called 3 Points.
This is alpha.
It's going to have 30,000 attendees. It's going to be in Mana. If you guys ever seen the Mana building in Wynwood, it's pretty big.
Oh, this is alpha here. Look at this.
Yeah.
3 points. 3 points is massive. My buddy.
Oh boy.
Could you imagine ApeFest the same time as 3 Points?
Well,
That'd
that's,
be
I mean,
crazy.
yeah, I can, because they've done it.
So 3 Points. So 3 Points is art. It's art, music, pop culture. Like it's pretty cool. Like they have art exhibits, they have music exhibits, they have the
Oh my
festival
goodness, we
itself,
got Bone
which is, like,
Thugs.
multiple venues.
We have Bone Thugs are at 3 Points this year as well. That I'm still do Miami. Because this is everything you just described. That is very much so in line with the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Last year, if you missed it, they did Vegas, and they did it the same time as Complex Con, another very similar, not similar, different, but art, culture, music, sneakers, collectibles type of festival. And I think you might have nailed it, Roxel. You may have just flipped me. I'm putting Miami back in the lead. So I think Miami now number one, based on this bit of information. This is real alpha. Miami number one, Amsterdam number two, everything else a distant three. I'm siding with Dort. I'm actually quoting Dort. I don't know if Dort, if you knew about 3 Points here, and this is part of your take. But Dort, I'm agreeing with Dort. Miami number one, Amsterdam number two, everywhere else a distant number three. I think, actually, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Miami number one, Amsterdam number two, Atlanta kind of a distant number. Like Miami and Amsterdam are like the first tier for me. They're both like, now they're tied with Miami a slight lead. And then a distant three is Atlanta. And then everything else a very big number four. Yeah, this is real alpha, Roxel. Thanks for jumping up and sharing. Have you been to 3 Points before?
Yeah, I painted a few murals there, and it's a huge event. It's as big as like Red Dot for Basel, and yeah, I think it'd be a really cool look. I mean, even if Figgy does some like activation, because he does a lot of stage designs and stuff like that in 3 Points, I think that would be, because I could see us having like our own section over there, like our own curated experience.
100% agreed. Very similar to Complex Con last year. What is do you know what is Figgy's what is his events brand? I know it, but I'm drawing a blank. Do you know the name of his events brand?
I think it's in like Improbable.
It's not Improbable. That's
hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Improbable is the metaverse tech. I'm going to his LinkedIn. I can't believe I'm going to LinkedIn right now.
I think the good thing about what Roxol's saying about 3 Points is 3 Points also really embraces technology and like, the expansion of technology too. Like there's been like interactive and AR experiences, and it kind of fits on brand with the idea of other side, NFTs, blockchain. Like they could to his point, they could have an exhibit up, and that exhibit could be this AR experience of other side or something, and it's totally on brand with what you'll see at 3 Points. I remember, I think it was 2 years ago, there was like a whole section of a warehouse that you walked in, and it was all immersive. All of the art, the whole experience was completely immersive. So it was on the walls, it was on the ceiling, it was on the floor. You could interact with it. And I think that'd be it would totally be on brand. Not to mention the music, the culture. He's got a great point for sure.
I am I'm doing right now. After going to Figgy's LinkedIn, it's possible, not improbable. It's actually possible.
Yeah, it's possible. My bad.
Close. So what I'm trying to see if possible is listed anywhere as like a vendor or a partner on 3 Points. If that's the case, I'm sold. If that's the case, this is it. I'm actually, this is completely out of left field. Roxol, you might have just solved the riddle today. Dort says, I asked him if that's why he was leaning Miami. He said no, but he just heard the rumors Rock's presenting, and it's some very compelling evidence as a true Miami man. We're no longer Florida men. If you're, I know I've told my Four Loko story on the show before, but I just saw Four Loko as a sponsor of 3 Points. And it's one of the things that I saw the Europeans are losing their mind over, because the Four Lokos here are much stronger. I don't think they brought caffeine back. The original Four Lokos were a huge thing of alcohol, were loaded with caffeine, and unfortunately led to a few heart attacks. So they had to change the formulation. But yeah, I went to college with the founder of Four Loko. We when I was in school, I'm dating myself here, but Red Bull and vodka had just become a thing. Red Bull had just become a thing in the States. And he was not in my fraternity, but in another fraternity. Chris Hunter's his name. And it was one of my first friends who had a startup, an idea. He was like went from a club promoter in Columbus to just like someone we'd be hanging out at a party. And then he started this brand. I saw the original pitch deck for Four Loko. I'm going to kind of out myself here. Chris and the other two founders in the pitch deck, they wanted to pay themselves a $60,000 salary. And I remember me and one of my best friends thought that was like you're out of your mind. I mean, we were doing well at the time in sales and making six figures. We thought it was out of your mind to try to raise funds as a startup, and asking for $60,000 for something that hadn't made any money yet. Tells you how little I understood about the venture world at that time. Because, anyways, Four Loko would go on to sell for millions of dollars to, I don't know who bought them, but one of the big beverage brands, might have been InBev. And Hunters went to build an incredible career in the beverage industry. But they went so far as like they did like a Saturday Night Live skit about Chris Hunter. It was like him. It was a skit, but they were making fun of him. He was wearing a Ohio State hoodie, and so sorry for the derailment there on Four Loko. But we got Beatbox, Chase, Eargasm, Electrolyt, Lift, and Four Loko. So no mention of Possible, but these are sponsors. The event coordinator, the agency helping plan the event wouldn't necessarily be listed as a sponsor anyways. But if anyone can connect that dot, then I think if Possible is involved in 3 points this year, I think that's it. The timing. Like, so here's the other thing is there any other events happening in Amsterdam, October 16th, 17th? I think I said it last year. I'll say it again. I loved that they did ApeFest around ComplexCon. So it wasn't just the same city at the same time. We had ApeFest one night. ComplexCon was multiple days. With your ApeFest wristband, your ApeFest ticket, which you got for free as a holder, it also got you a free pass to ComplexCon, which was a VIP pass. You got to skip the line. You got, it was a really cool partnership. They were like the main like booth exhibit at the ComplexCon like exhibit fair. They had a real life gotcha machine, and for every time I went into ComplexCon, line like wrapped around thing. Like, it was the spot. Like they got more attention at ComplexCon than a lot of big brands that are really well known, traditional brands. And I could absolutely see them doing something similar. ComplexCon is in LA, I think, this year, and so that's in the running. But I thought they would run ComplexCon back again. I would much prefer something like this, a different festival, a different partnership, an art music type festival that they link up with and get us. We go to ApeFest one day, and then you got 2 days or even a day. It's 16th and 17th, so maybe October 16th we're going to 3 points. October 17th we're going to ApeFest. This is welcome to Wynwood. 3 points communications department is headquartered at Mana Wynwood. It's a sprawling 5-city block venue in the heart of Wynwood. Pretty cool. And we got so many. The Magic City Apes is maybe the largest sub community in the Bored Ape Yacht Club. We do have Cigar City Apes, like Florida Apes as a whole. I think it is the largest sub community within the Bored Ape Yacht Club. I want to say, I don't know the exact number, but I want to say there's over 300 of us just in. I say the state of Florida, but there's probably 300 just in Miami Metro and then Tampa Metro. Like, if you take the two coastal hubs, I think there's probably over 300 of us, the handful in Orlando as well. But this is I've been sold. I've now flipped from Amsterdam to Miami. Miami now edges out. Miami's like 1A, Amsterdam is 1B.
Where you back with Atlanta though? Atlanta was top one.
Atlanta's number 3. So
3?
Yeah, I'm going Miami 1. A close second is Amsterdam, and then Atlanta's a little bit of a gap for number 3. I think the 10-17. That's smart. Everyone making that Gucci Mane connection. Atlanta could be in the running, but yeah, I'm still leaning for all these. And now, you Crypto Cam, you might convince me if there's another 3 points-esque, if there's another art slash music festival that's taking place in Atlanta on October 16th, 17th, maybe that's back in the running.
So I don't see anything going on. I was looking at that to see if anything was going on. I don't see anything like that going on, but like Rock's down there, and that makes sense. That venue would hold everybody, and the date just makes sense with his background.
Yep. For sure. Go ahead, Machiavelli.
I don't know about piggybacking off that festival. You know what I'm saying? Like when I look at that festival and I look at the lineup, it doesn't feel Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Man, I don't know.
Listen. That's my opinion. Let me have my opinion, right? But if you look at what's going on in Tokyo, Japan during that time as well, there's this huge festival like where they carved out the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil monkeys. And like there's like this like certain celebration in Japan during that time, and there's like a huge fireworks festival that day as well.
I don't know, man. I vibe with this lineup. I grew up in Ohio in the, I went to high school in the 90s, college in the early 2000s, like the peak Bone Thugs era. Yeah, Bone Thugs is near and dear to my heart, and so I definitely vibe with Bone Thugs. And then I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's Yuka. I'm going to really butcher this. I'll see when it comes up on the page. I wish I could freeze this. He did the Boiler Room, one of the most famous Boiler Room sets. He's the Japanese DJ that he was a construction worker, had a brain tumor, decided I'm quitting construction. I'm going to follow my passions. And he's now one of the most, beloved DJs in the world.
Steve Aoki?
No.
Bruh.
It's
Steve.
there it is. Yokisaki Yumasati. I'm sure I didn't try to pronounce that one, but Jesus, this is bad. DJ Boiler Room set. It was one of the best. This guy, Yuseki Yukamatsu. Yuseki Yukamatsu.
That guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was him.
It was a banger set at I'm a huge Fred Again fan, but this is my favorite Boiler Room set of all time. Yuseki Yukamatsu. Sorry, I'll stop trying to pronounce names that I have no business trying to pronounce. Okay, so we've got, to recap, we've got Miami, Amsterdam, Atlanta, maybe Tokyo. Any other takes? Any other takes on where this might be? We're catching up on the chat here. Sorry, I fell behind a little bit. Amsterdam seems so 1990s. The weed was the attraction. Now it's everywhere. Would be expensive too. I hard disagree here. My impression, my perception of Amsterdam was similar before I went. My perception of Amsterdam was, it's just weed and red light district and that sort of stuff. Red light district is like I don't know, prostitution's legal and like late night clubbing and that sort of stuff. That was my perception of Amsterdam. It was just like a late night party city, and weed was legal. After having visited, I've only been to Amsterdam for like 36 hours. I laid over there for a full day and a half during a European trip. It's amazing. It's so beautiful. There's canals and rivers everywhere. 90% of the population, I think, rides a bike around everywhere. People are super friendly, and it's just a beautiful city. And it's very, very, very much an art city. Like it's the Van Gogh Museum. There's
a ton of art there. I was about to say that. There's a ton of art there.
Ton of art.
And it's so much art and history there and culture.
Yep. It is cities I visited where my expectations have been vastly exceeded. In the States, my first time I went to Salt Lake City blew my mind. I did not have that impression of Salt Lake City. It's beautiful, just a really cool, very different city that I wasn't expecting. Hong Kong was up there. It's going to sound really ignorant. I had no idea. I knew it was on the water. I had no idea it was in a harbor with mountains all around. Just a beautiful city. People were just incredibly friendly. Another name I can't pronounce. Speaking of these museums in Amsterdam, one we went to is the Rijks Museum, RIJKS Museum in Amsterdam. A lot of there's Rembrandts, there's Van Goghs, there's Vermeers, a lot of just iconic art pieces. The Van Gogh Museum is in Amsterdam. It is very much a art and culture city, far beyond weed and red light district. Bone Thugs, Thomas adds Bone Thugs hometown group. So Thomas, you might maybe we do a +1 raffle here on the show for ApeFest this year. We will see. Vancouver might be on the list for a future ApeFest. I don't think it's in the running this year, though, would be my guess. Diego, yes, you'd be in the running for that +1 if you want to come to the States for ApeFest this year. Yeah, kids should not even attempt to think about the OG Four Loko. It's not, yeah. I don't think kids drink nowadays like we drank back in the day. Diego says the teenagers don't actually drink alcohol. They use any synthetic drug but they sanitize alcohol. Osiris lived in Florida for 3 years, and people back here in Ohio still calling Florida man. It's been like 20 years. That's hilarious. Local skater kids were getting heart attacks because of Four Lokos. Yeah, very unfortunate. What about the poker tourney? You think they're bringing that back? I'll tell you this. Here's my take here. I don't think Clubhouse will be open if we get ApeFest Miami. I don't think it'll be open this year. I don't think it'll be open by the time ApeFest happens. But if it's like a partially opened, if it's not fully ready to open for the public, I could absolutely see it. Let's say we do ApeFest around 3 Points and we get like the 16th, we get a 3 Points Music Festival. Dude, they could do the 16th and 17th. Like ApeFest could be at 3 Points Music Festival. And then Sunday, there's a poker tournament at the Clubhouse. I think that is very much, I hadn't thought about that, but I hope they bring the poker tournament back. I hope it's an annual event. Shout out to Tebow for being the reigning poker, Board Ape Yacht Club poker champion. Had a lot of fun there, even though I busted way too early. I really hope they run back the poker tournament. Just a great time. Even if you're not a poker player, yeah, you got to put a little skin in the game. I think it was like $100 buy-in, $150 buy-in, something like that. But great opportunity just to hang out and chat with other apes. First time I ever met Adam Weitzman, actually. We sat down next to each other on the poker table and just got to know each other a little bit. Really enjoyed, just really enjoyed the event at large. I enjoy poker, but I think even if you're not a big poker player, please play, because then we could use more fish. A kid. Yeah, don't, if you are a drinker, I don't advise you going and tracking down an OG Four Loko. ApeFest to Spain. I'd be for Spain, although I don't think it's likely because it's so close to Portugal, and we just had Portugal a couple years ago. I disagree. Why do you think Amsterdam's overrated, Diego? Have you been? Because my perception was not what I experienced. He says Amsterdam's expensive as AF, massive tourism. I could see it might be inexpensive. He was in Amsterdam when Van Gogh Museum launched the Pikachu card. Couldn't find tickets and fumbled the card. Yeah, the other thing, if we do get Amsterdam ApeFest and you want to go to the museums, you got to buy your tickets in advance. I had no idea. I thought we could just buy tickets the day of, just walk in because it's a museum. Nope. We got in the Rijksmuseum. The Van Gogh Museum was like 30 days backed up. Like we couldn't get in the Van Gogh Museum that month. They're so popular that you have to buy tickets in advance. Otherwise, you're probably not getting in. Glad you got to sleep in, my GM. Late GM better than no GM. Appreciate you being here as always, sir. And Diablito adds, not sure, but see all the apes touring small museums on their ApeFest trips. Yeah, dude, I do see it actually. It's you might be surprised. Like some of the most fun I've had at ApeFest hasn't necessarily. I mean, I enjoy the actual ApeFest, the event itself, but some of the most. It's also why Vegas wasn't my favorite, because even though there was Complex Con, I don't know. Vegas is just so played out for me. I've just been so many times and it just doesn't do it for me anymore. But like Hong Kong was incredible. All the, from food tours to just doing like exploring the city. And I think you'd be surprised how many apes would absolutely hit up Van Gogh Museum, Rijksmuseum, and explore the culture of Amsterdam. Not everyone's going to be into that, but I think you'd be surprised how many people actually care about the art and the culture. Dwayne asks, is there really a foreign interest in going to Atlanta? I don't see that as a big draw. Good question. I'll ask any international, any non-US based people here today. What are your thoughts on Atlanta? I mean, they had the Olympics in Atlanta not that long ago.
I don't personally see the draw. I don't see us picking Atlanta at all. I don't know what kind of cultural significance it brings to throw the yearly ApeFest there. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm missing something here. I love Atlanta. I've been to Atlanta several times. I got people in Atlanta, but I just don't see Atlanta as a choice.
I think Miami's easier logistically to get to for international people, probably.
You think?
You know,
I don't know if Atlanta or Miami is much different. I think Atlanta probably has more flights, I guess. I think it's a bigger airport.
Yeah, Atlanta has a lot of international connecting flights as well. Like it's like very, very common to catch a, you know, your connecting flight in Atlanta.
Steve coming in the chat spent like a half hour yesterday with Claude trying to figure it out. Again, this is the fun. The surprise is fun, even when probably have the set isn't. Oh yeah, he's Dork talking about the set. That one drop is amazing. Talking about Yukasama Yakasaka, whatever the guy. I'm just going to describe him. He is the guy that has brain cancer, quit his job as a construction worker to become an international DJ, and I'm a big fan. Doomers adds one of the best steaks he's ever had was in Amsterdam. It was at Warner. Door adds Strat, Straat in Amsterdam. Was so dope. I like Amsterdam. I hard disagree with Diablito. I think Amsterdam is not played out. It's not 90s. In fact, I think it's probably better now than the 90s, where it was just like other people had my perception of Amsterdam. Oh, it's just cannabis is legal there. So the only country in the world that cannabis is legal, or one of the few countries in the world where it's legal. I think it was legal there and maybe decriminalized in a couple other countries. But now that that's not a draw, like I don't think people are going to Amsterdam just so they can buy cannabis. I think it's more of a cultural hub than. And I don't get us wrong. I know the red light district still exists. I know that's still a thing. I'm sure people still go there for that portion of Amsterdam. There's so much more that Amsterdam has to offer. And now, all that being said, I don't know what is the weather like in Amsterdam in October. Probably not great.
Where's Bordo Saka when we need him? You know what I'm saying? Like I want to hear what Bordo Saka wants to think. See if he thinks it might be Japan.
Here's Diego's take on Amsterdam. I will leave it to those of you reading the chat. Europe is expensive. Amsterdam will be hell of expensive. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember it being that crazily expensive. I don't know if it'd be more expensive than Miami. Maybe I'm wrong. Mike adds Atlanta is the busiest airport in the States due to connections, including international flights. It's a Delta hub. Yeah, I think you talk about getting to from an international standpoint. Atlanta is probably maybe one of the easiest spots on the eastern seaboard. Maybe one of the best international hubs would be my guess. Maybe not the best, but one of the best for sure. Miami will be possible, but it's a bit of a journey from Alberta. Yeah, I think for people even in the States or Canada, I think it's probably a lot easier to get to Atlanta than it is Miami. Miami Airport's growing, and it's making strides, but I don't think it's anywhere close. Tampa's a better airport than Miami. Tampa's an amazing airport, but I don't think we're doing ApeFest in Tampa as much as I love it. Diego said, since watching Leaving Las Vegas with Nick Cage, you've always wanted to visit Vegas. Each their own, man. I mean, Vegas is, I guess, check the box. It's just a concrete jungle. It's a fun party city, I guess, if you're into that sort of stuff. You like the nightlife, but it just lacks like Amsterdam's like real culture. I don't think there's like, I'm sure there is museums in Vegas, but I don't think they're world renowned unless it's like there's probably like a Gentlemen's Club Hall of Fame or Dancer Museum or something like that. No offense to anyone in that industry. I respect all workers, but I think Vegas lacks the culture, the art culture that you might have in Amsterdam or Wynwood, for instance. Just my own person. And again, nothing wrong with that. To each their own. You want to go to Spearmint Rhino and spend that's your side event, more power to you. It's just not my cup of tea personally. Dwayne adds, it is easy to get to Atlanta. Once you're there, what's the big draw other than the Coke Museum? Coca-Cola, not the Coke Museum that you might find in Vegas.
It's diabolical.
Or Miami.
Hey Cap, the World Cup games are here as well. So
Atlanta, right?
Even though even though Atlanta's got the world's busiest airport, and that's exactly what they call it, even though it's got the world's busiest airport, and the games will be here around that time, I think it's still not exactly aligned with the lore and the club. So even though I'm here and I wish it would come here, I don't think we're going to be in Atlanta.
I was saying, you're an Atlanta boy, right?
Not necessarily, but I've been here long enough, so I might as well be. I mean, I've been here over 20 years, but so yeah, or yeah, but I don't think it's gonna be here.
Yeah, do you know of any events taking place? We just, I don't know if you caught us. We were talking about 3 Points Music Festival taking place October 16th and 17th in Wynwood. That to me, Roxel, that is like no joke. That to me is, I think, the biggest data point of where this might be. I really think that, I think they nailed it last year with partnering with ComplexCon, and I think that's the playbook. I think doing that way, they don't have to do a 4-night ApeFest and organize and spend the money on all this top tier talent. They can partner with someone like a 3 Points, like a ComplexCon, and we all get that same entertainment experience. And then they could still have, like they had Kodak Black at actual ApeFest last year. So I can see whether it's ApeFest is at 3 Points Fest, or we go to 3 Points Fest on the 16th, and then ApeFest with a smaller artist, or someone is just ApeFest by itself. I think this absolutely could be a thing. And I don't know. I think my question would be: is there any? Are there any similar music art festivals in Atlanta that weekend, in Amsterdam that weekend? If not, I'm keeping Miami as my 1A guess, based on no pressure, Rock. So I'm not going to hold it against you if it's not Miami, but I think you might have nailed it with this one. This is a real data point. Well done.
He's been saying it for months too. Like, when he was speculating, like he's been like for a few months, Rock's like, it makes sense because of 3 points. It just makes sense because of 3 points. So the fact that it is a real data point. You're absolutely right.
Well, and that they drop, we know 10-17 as a data point. That to me is like, okay, this is maybe not all signs pointing to Wynwood, but the fact that Roxel was speculating ApeFest will be in and around 3 points, and then they drop 10-17. I think really onto something there. Any other guesses? Anywhere other outside of anywhere? And yes, for those, if you're not in the war room, I'm going to dislike, or they get a downvote if it is a city that requires me to stay up past 8 p.m. I can stay up past 8 p.m., but when it's 8 p.m. West Coast time, which is 11 p.m. my time, hard for me to get into that. Like I'm dragging before the party even starts, and like afternoon coladas are a must. But any other takes, any other cities that we haven't hit on that could be a potential, and if so, why? I think we've got the short list, and I think we probably get, I don't know if we get like here's where it's at, here's all the details, or we get another teaser. But I think we have a pretty good short list, unless we're missing something. I think Miami, Atlanta, Amsterdam, Tokyo. I know the Neo Tokyo and the Figgy's on the Asian tour. I would be surprised if we do. Actually, I guess it's been 3 years, so I shouldn't be that surprised. Because in my head, I was kind of thinking they would do a rotation of US, Europe, Asia, US, Europe, Asia, and kind of keep rotating for these global events, and then maybe mix in a somewhere else every once in a while. But I guess that said, if that's the case, if they're going to do this rotation, it'd be more likely that they do Tokyo or somewhere in Asia before they go back to Europe, because Europe was just 2 years ago in Lisbon. So yeah, I guess I'm contradicting myself, or the Asian tour could be doubling as a site walkthrough. I agree, Von Frunten. Like my gut tells me the Asia tour is happening now because we're not going to go back to Asia for ApeFest, but it could also be doubling as a walkthrough, as prepping, as boots on the ground to get ready for ApeFest. My thinking is this is to show the Asian community members some love, since we're not going to be there for ApeFest. And the expectation is not everyone there would be able to attend ApeFest in the US or ApeFest in Europe. But Yeah, the flip side of that would be this is prepping for ApeFest. And the reason Figgy's doing the whole Asia tour now is to build even more of a grassroots swell over there, and do site walkthrough and do more prepping. So yeah, that checks out. I mean, that could be, but I think it's more of a signal that we're not going to Asia. Hence why I'm ranking, if we're going international, I think Amsterdam is ahead of Tokyo or anywhere in Asia. But I still, due to Rock Soul's data points here with 3 Points Music Festival, I'm going to lean Wynwood, Miami, 1A, Amsterdam, number 1B, and then maybe still Atlanta due to 1017. Puff, I see you joined us on stage. I know you are sold on it is Amsterdam. Other than the color palette, other than 1017 being the is it the city code or like zip code or whatever's appropriate thing in Europe. Any other thoughts on why you think it's Amsterdam? Is there any other events taking place October 16th, 17th? Or maybe if it's 1017 is a signal that it's in Amsterdam, there's a chance it's also not October 17th. We could have the date. This could have nothing to do with the date. So we could be completely off there. But yeah, any other thoughts that we haven't hit on why you think Amsterdam?
I think you hit them all, but bringing back up the X, there's the X at the bottom left. I think, the Bored Ape Yacht Club leaves a little like breadcrumbs. I think the X is very, maybe overlooked, but I think it's probably one of the more important things. And then the 1017, what's the main reason that 1017 has to do with Miami again? Like, what was obviously that apartment complex people talked about. I think we kind of debunked that.
I think the only connection is just the date and the 3 Points Music Festival. 3 Points Music Festival is going to be October 16th and 17th. Rock Soul, who's in Miami, has been saying that would be a good festival to partner up with or to have ApeFest around that same time. And now it's easy to say, okay, if it is Miami, then 1017 is the date is what that means, not necessarily the city code.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. The red not only matches Amsterdam's flag, there's 3. Now, if there was 3 X's, and I only see the one in the bottom left.
3 X's.
Wait, there is
3. You got to zoom, man.
Oh,
I have
wow.
a post. You can find them.
Let me, man, I might be back to a tie if that's the case. If there's 3 X's in this, let me pull up Puff's. Let me pull up Puff's post here again, and we'll zoom in because I missed it. Okay, so here's the flag. There's the 1 X in the bottom left. Oh, okay. I see the second one. The third one is maybe a bit of a reach. I'm also a little older, so my eyes aren't perfect. But yeah, I don't know. I'm for it.
So, can I just give a quick take?
Go for it.
I think it would be too obvious if they made all the X's super obvious.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? Like if it is Amsterdam, how would I play this out? I like things being like they want people to speculate, they want it to be talked about. It would be too obvious if there were just 3 obvious X's. So maybe that's why the other ones are like basically super blurred out, but they're circled. Like the 1 is obviously an X. The second one is quite obviously also an X. The third one is like, maybe not. But that's just me. And
that's a good call, man. I missed the second one. The one that's circled. I didn't even see that X in the circle. But you're right. That is definitely an X in a circle. That the one at the bottom left is absolutely an X. Like that's the breadcrumb. That's the breadcrumb trail they wanted you to see. Was the X that's very obvious in the bottom left. I think you got to look a little harder to see the one that's circled, and then the third X is a little more mysterious. But yeah,
there's only 3. Like I zoomed for, probably 30 minutes looking around, like, can I find anything in this? And I saw people like changing the color shade, like see ND codes, like change it to blue to see if there was anything, like if you change the color palette, if it, you could reveal anything. But I zoomed pretty hard all over that thing. And like, there are only 3 X's that I could, kind of make out with my eye. So I don't know. I think it's intentional.
Yeah.
It could not be, but
no, I think you're right. I think now might there be 3 X's and it's still going to be in Miami? It's possible. I don't know what the X's would signify though if that was the case. Roxo, is there any X's tied into 3 Points Music Festival, or can you make any connection to Miami/Wynwood in the letter X? Not to put you on the spot, but I'm curious if you have any any thoughts on how X might relate to Miami?
Not really.
Three X's or 3 points.
3
Playing
points.
with 3 points.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. Could be. Well, I mean, that's Captain Obvious. I missed that one. But yeah, CryptoCam, good call there. 3 points, 3 X's. 3X marks the point. Dude, I would totally be down with Hawaii. I don't think it's likely this year, but I would absolutely be. I mean, it makes sense for an international destination because there's a large. Okay, I've been to Hawaii once. It was 20 years ago, and I've been wanting to go back ever since. Love it, incredible. It is. You get a lot of people. Like the Hawaii tourism is largely West Coast United States, so it's like a quick flight for people in California, Arizona, etc. And then there's the other half of the people that were visiting Hawaii when I was there was from Asia. So it's it's smack dab in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. So it's not easy to get to because it is in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, but it is in between U.S. and Asia. I'm curious how easy or hard is it to get to Hawaii from Europe? Would be my question. Has any Europeans made the Hawaii flight? I'm guessing. Let's just go. I don't know. England to Hawaii. Flight time. Yeah, 17 to 22 hours. Oof. Not saying it's out, but yeah, I would totally be down with. Speaking of boomer jokes, Dwayne says, got a new entry. All his exes live in Texas. It's a country song. I think it's country. It's an OG song if you aren't familiar. You might be right, Dwayne. I might have an ex or two in Texas. I'm not really sure. Or maybe someone I don't consider an ex, but they might consider themselves an ex. I don't know. Utah Zuza loves the burbs in the background. My burb collection, unrelated to the burb art that my daughter did, also unrelated to the owl hats that I'll be wearing soon, where my other daughter is going to school at FAU. So I wish I was a bigger burb fan. No offense to Spencer and the team. They've just kind of fallen off since I actually have no idea what Moonbirds are doing now. I just genuine. I'm not taking shots. I don't know. I don't know what their play is. Are they just gonna? I think they're just gonna lean into TCG, which Vibes is awesome. Reality is, I think Vibes has more motion and like real path to a sustainable business than does Moonbirds. And they're like, oh well, they can incorporate Moonbirds into Vibes. Okay, cool, but what is like? Well, do they need Moonbirds to do that? No, I mean they could just ride the Pudgy. And I know set 3, Vibe set 3, shout out Zane, did incorporate Pudgy Penguins and Moonbirds. Same thing I've asked everyone. Like, I know many reasons like why I'd want to hold a Bored Ape Yacht Club. I have an idea why I'd want to hold a Pudgy Penguin. I don't know why I would want to hold, and I hold a Mythic. I'm just trying. If I'm talking to someone else and someone, hey, I've got 1.5 ETH, and I want to buy an NFT or two. I could explain reasons why they might want to buy a Mutant, or why they might want to buy a little Pudgy, or even an Azuki for that matter. I don't know, which we were just talking about, like what's the why there? Where's the alignment? Where's the alignment for Moonbirds? Like what is TG's happened, and it went from like all the motion in the space, like the golden child of NFT PFPs for a while was Spencer leading up to TCG, and then it just seemed like the whole tone shifted. And maybe it's my algo. I haven't seen him for months. I feel like I haven't seen anything out of Moonbirds. I know they've said stuff, so it's, again, I'll blame my algo, but yeah, I wish I was more of I wish I had more of a path, more of a Burb fan, because it's going to tie in well to my my daughter's going to FAU, Florida Atlantic, and their mascot is the Owls. And not only is it the Owls, it looks like a Burb. The FAU Owls, they're like, I almost wonder if Cairo or Justin Mazzell, the original founders of Moonbirds, the designers of Moonbirds, I wonder if they took. I mean, can't tell me, like, if you didn't know this was the FAU mascot and I just showed you this image, you'd probably say, oh, that's a moonbird. That's a moon piece. That's something from the moonbirds. It's very. Anyways, I digress. RFTZ, I saw you jumped up. Where do you think ApeFest is going to be this year? We'll come back to RFTZ. Honeybee, where do you think ApeFest is going to be? I see you got the red background. I see you got Inspire Red leaning into ApeFest.
Japan.
Oh, okay. Why Japan?
That wasn't Honeybee. That was RFDZ.
Why RFTZ? Why do you think Japan? Because you live there? I thought you're in. Are you in Singapore? Where? You don't have to dox yourself. Never mind. Where? Why do you think Japan?
He's farming, bro. He wants to go to Japan because it's close to him.
Okay, I thought so. I thought it was close. I remember meeting. We met at ApeFest Hong Kong, and I knew he was in that part of the world. But Honeybee, what's your takes? Do you agree that it's likely Amsterdam or Miami, or do you have another thesis?
Like, hear me out. Follow me.
I'm following.
So 10-17. Look, if you do numerology, you add up the number, that's a 9, right? The number 9 is long lasting in Chinese, right? And also, what's the color of a dragon? Red. And when he shoots out fire, what color is the fire? Red. And like when you get hit by the fire, you start bleeding, right? What color is your blood? Red. And then what comes out of your girl during a period? Red. And you still love her. And you still love her. What is the color of love? Red. So we might go to Paris, but here we are. I think it's a psyop. I think all of this is a psyop. And we're actually going to Albania. His fucking NGB's head ass is, if you guys don't know, NGB's like honorary Abe, like OG. I think if you look at their flag, it is literally the color we're looking at with black, not white. There's no white in it whatsoever. And Spence has been scheming for the past 5 years to try and get us to go to fucking Albania.
I would be shocked if it's Albania.
I'm joking. Yeah, I think Asia for sure. In my head, I think Asia, because the comms the whole year has been Asia. Like from Garga at the beginning of the year to Figgy about to go into the tour before they announce it. Like, just look at the timing of the drop and all the content and everything that's been coming out, like just merch and shit coming out for this tour. So I really do think it's like either China or Japan.
I would love actually either or. I would love both on my list. In fact, I was kicking myself because I didn't do more exploring of the region when I went to ApeFest Hong Kong, and I said I want to do that if next time I'm in there, I want to take make it a 10-day, 2-week, 3-week vacation and really explore the region. And I guess my gut says, oh, we just did ApeFest Hong Kong, but I realized that was three ApeFests ago, and it actually makes, if we're going to do the circuit of Asia, Europe, US, Asia, Europe, US, then Asia would be up. It's Asia's turn. So you might be onto something. Do you have a preference of Japan or China?
Well, I'm gonna do a bit of China because I'm out here in the Philippines, so I'll actually be going out to the Asia tour that they're doing now with Figgy. So cool. I'm doing like the mini Asia tour. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see China, right? I'm gonna see Shanghai, I'm gonna see Hong Kong, and Seoul, Korea. So I kind of wanted to be Japan low key because I feel like that would be really sick. And it's, growing up, that's an anime kid. That has been on the top of my bucket list. So I'm like, I really would love it to be there. And with apes would be so much fun. Well, and you talk about anime, the Bored Ape Yacht Club anime is dropping soon. Like they could use ApeFest Asia, ApeFest Japan to and line up their anime series launch. That's another data point that I haven't seen a whole lot of people talk about. I think I did see one take that, the Bored Ape Yacht Club anime is a reason to lean towards, to lean towards Asia. But I'm not saying it's not. I'm not. You failed to convince me as much as Rock Soul convinced me that it is Miami with, both Rock Soul convinced me it's Miami with the 3 Points Music Festival taking place October 16th and 17th, and Puff has convinced me with 3X and the Amsterdam. Like there's definitely some breadcrumbs. I don't know if there's as many breadcrumbs that we get at Japan or China ApeFest as there's breadcrumbs that point to Miami or Amsterdam. Watch none of us be right.
Watch this thing is so.
I'll tell you, Albania, bro. I'm telling you, we're getting psyoped.
Shipping. You don't have to say anything. Give us some sort of indication. If we're warm, 100. If it's Albania, would be too obvious. So you don't have to. You just got to give us some indication. If we're warm on, might we have ApeFest Albania? He's going to ignore us and not tip off anything. Put him on the spot here. Maybe no sign is the sign. Maybe it is ApeFest Albania, and he's not throwing any emojis because he doesn't want to signal that we've figured it out. Also, good alliteration. May not be Apesterdam, but Albania Dam or Apebania. I don't know. It's a reach. The only red that makes sense is the red of our obliterated bags, says Diego. You might be onto something there as well. We have it's almost 10 o'clock. Having too much fun today. The time is flying when we're having fun speculating on where ApeFest might be. Again, in all seriousness, if to Shipend and the rest of the team, thanks for bringing the fun back. Thanks for again, it just brings back early vibes. I love the approach. I don't want to know. I don't need to know. Like, I know there's been some pinup demand and hey, where ApeFest. We know it's coming. We know we'll get the full details soon, but I don't know if there's much difference between letting us know yesterday versus letting us know next week or the following week. Let the community have some fun and speculate, and it adds excitement. It really does add excitement to. We got a poll. Let's see. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna post Gucci's poll in the up top. Roxel commented with the 3 Points Music Festival. I'm actually surprised. Let me pull. I pinned it up top. Go vote in Gucci's poll. Let me pull it up on screen for those of you watching the video feed here, because I'm a little surprised by the early results of this poll, but I'm a little surprised with not necessarily who's in the lead. It's one of the one of the 1As, one of the 1Bs. I'm surprised the gap. And the sample size is not nothing, but let me. I'm a little surprised. Yes, we're doing the Menendez brother polls today. Jay, you are a finalist. Who else guessed Menendez brothers were on the Mark Jackson card I showed a couple weeks ago? Who else had Menendez brothers guess that correctly? You're a finalist for today's Coffee with Captain. There's no guarantee it's going to be you, but if you guessed Menendez brothers a couple weeks ago, you're in the running today for Coffee with Captain Claw poll. Gucci says his guess is ApeFest is Tokyo. Red in the flag. Figgy is touring Asia right now, activating the East. It would be a great place to debut the highly anticipated Board API Cup anime. There's some great speculation for Amsterdam in the pinned tweet. What's your guess? I agree with everything here, although and it could very well be. This very well could be activating the East right now, doing a walk through the venue, doing boots on the ground to do planning for ApeFest Tokyo. I agree with that, although I think I still lean that it's more of a tour of Asia to activate the East and show them some love, because we're not doing ApeFest in the East, is my guess. It could go either way, and it's definitely a valid take. I just when I saw the tour, my first thought was, oh, cross Asia off the list. We're not going to, and maybe I'm wrong, but for some reason I'm thinking that Garga did this in past years, or maybe the team did this in past years, where they toured regions of the world before ApeFest, where ApeFest wasn't going to be, to show some of that global love, to where if people weren't able to make the trip to the other side of the planet, they still got some love, they still got some in real life events. And so yeah, I think I lean towards it's a signal that we're not going to Asia, but I also what you're saying makes logical sense as well. Is this a real? No, this can't be a real flag. He just dropped the 1017 in the red light district on the Tokyo flag, and then I'm not sure where that is. Winwood maybe. Here's the pool I'm referencing that's up top. Sorry for front running this if you haven't voted yet and we're curious. Miami in the lead. 45% think it's Miami. Second is Tokyo at 25%. I wonder if it's skewed because it's Gucci's pool. And then third is Amsterdam at 18%. I'm surprised there's that much of a split between. I'm surprised Miami has so big of a lead, and I'm surprised that Amsterdam is quite a distant third at this point. Other is at 10%, but no mention of Atlanta. I still think Atlanta's in the running, but I think after today's conversation, I'm going to go Miami, Amsterdam. We'll say Tokyo and Atlanta kind of tied for a distant third, but I still think Amsterdam and Miami are the. I don't think we go back to Hong Kong, Eddie Crypto. I think we've been there, done that. I hope to God it's not Orlando. Yeah, I agree with Gucci here. Orlando is maybe the worst event city in the U.S. Worst event city that is a popular event city. It's. I know I'm not sorry if you live in Orlando. I have nothing against Orlando. I despise going to Orlando for events. It's worse than Vegas. It is. I mean, first of all, you're competing with Disney World and all the other parks. And so traffic sucks. Getting into a restaurant, you might have a 3-hour wait. And it's a commercial tourism hub for entertainment, for amusement parks. It lacks the culture and the history of some of these other cities. And I mean, yeah, like Wizard World, the Epic Universal, it's cool. Like I went to that recently. The Harry Potter thing's really cool if you're into that. I really enjoyed the Mario World. It's fun, it's cool, but it's insanely expensive for amusement parks. I haven't been to an amusement park in a while. My jaw dropped when I found out how much my girlfriend dropped on Epic Universal tickets. Her brother and his family was visiting. They did a whole like park vacation, and we met them. We did one day at Epic Universal. And it was fun, but it's like I'm not a. I know. I also know Board Gazette is based out of Orlando, so I'm trying to. I know I'm not taking any personal attacks. Orlando's fine. It is in the great state of Florida. I don't mind visiting Orlando. I hope to God it's not ApeFest. It is. I've done conferences in Orlando before, and I get why there's such a pull for conferences there, but it doesn't mean I'm a fan of it. And it's like for similar but different reasons that I am not a fan of Vegas. We're gonna go to Machiavelli here in a second. Before I do so, also if you guessed Menendez Brothers, let me know. We're gonna do claw pull here in just a few minutes. DeFi Addict, unrelated to our this morning's conversation. But actually somewhat related to the NFT. I don't want to call them scammers, but just be careful on the free NFT mints, low cost mints. Make sure that you know who you're supporting. Kash Patel just tweeted out, crypto fraudsters have been scamming and taking advantage of American people for too long. No more. The FBI will find you and bring you to justice. Operation Level Up. So now it's not the war on crypto. It is an operation to go take down crypto scammers. Love to see it. Thanks for sharing. DF Attic. I probably would not have seen that post otherwise. Machiavelli, go ahead and get back in here.
Yeah, just want to remind everybody, today we're having a World Cup match day with the Clanos, Board Ape Yacht Club versus Clanos, talking about the first week of the World Cup. That's at 7 p.m. EST tonight. Then a couple of hours after that, 9 p.m. EST, we'll be having the pregame for other games. And tomorrow we have quite the event planned for you guys at 3 p.m. EST in other side with the Swamp. Let me pass it over to Honey B real quick. I think you got something.
Wait. We got breaking news, bro. They just tweeted out another red pick and it says USA. All speculation gone. USA.
Are they I think these tweets are scheduled for 10 a.m.
Yeah, I think so too. But it says USA on that motherfucker.
So
it does say USA.
We are down to, thank you, Board Ape Yacht Club account for shipping. Did you pull some strings there to get this out before we wrap the show? I think the tweets are scheduled for 10 a.m. I bet we had another 10 a.m. tweet tomorrow. All right. So Puff, not to call you out. A lot of I myself included thought Amsterdam was in the running. It's now off the list. So the X's I'm not. So sad. The X's, yeah, kind of as well. I'm partial to the East Coast. I'm partial to Florida. It's easy for me to get to. I am looking forward to getting back to Amsterdam sometime. But it's also the bright note is I think I'll be able to bring my girlfriend this year. So you all get to meet my my better half. Maybe I'll see if she can whip up some arepas for everyone. Not everyone, but a few of you. We'll do if we do a live coffee with Captain, I will at least have a handful of arepas there for you to enjoy. I'm committing her without her knowing, but USA is the post. So now that being said, we got to adjust that pool up top. Gucci, do you want to run another one? Because I think it's down to Miami or Atlanta. And I am.
Complex Con is in LA at the beginning of October, Cap.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if this was made clear, but weren't we doing a multi-year partnership with Complex Con? And
Yeah.
it would make sense that the entire LA team, the team is in LA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's also a consideration, to be honest with you, if you ask me, because we had such an impact last year. I could see us also having quite the impact this year at Complex Con. And then LA is like the perfect place for everybody from around the world to meet.
Yeah, man, I'm like, this is very selfish and very self-serving. It's like real too. It's not just me complaining. It's easier for me to do a time zone that is 12 hours difference than it is for me to do West Coast time. It's just hard on me. Like my clock, my circadian rhythm, it just really struggles with Pacific Coast time. Much love to all the West Coasters who join us at 5 a.m. In the morning. I don't have a problem getting up early in the morning. My problem is 8 p.m. is 11 p.m. in my body, and I'm already usually 2 hours of sleep by then. And it is just, it's quite the adjustment. Yeah, Hot Atlanta, Red Rocks. Okay. I don't know if we'll do. I mean,
Denver, Colorado, Red Rock Amphitheater. That would absolutely be a banger too.
I mean, I'm the best.
Not October though. Not Colorado in October is horrible.
Someone throw all this into ChatGPT now that we know it's in the US and see what comes back. Diablo says 10/17 US. I don't know what that means, other than like it's the date. I mean, I think that's what I'm leading. 10/17 is the date, and it's in the US. What does the red mean? Where does red come into play? If 10/17 is not the date, well, it could be the date and 10/17 music group, Gucci Mane and that crew. Yeah, but I'm really. Havoc says DC. I wonder if why do you think DC? Is there some other what's the tie-in to DC? I think so. Complex Con in LA does, like, that checks out. I do think it's a multi-year relationship with Complex Con, and I think that they have tens of thousands of emails and people that came to the booth last year that they could reactivate. So I do think that makes a ton of sense. Not Red Rocks in October wouldn't be a ton of fun. Yeah, it's Denver weather we're getting into wintertime out there. I think I'm now, knowing it's in the US, I think I'm leading Miami, maybe Atlanta, but I think LA Complex Con tie-in probably has LA flipping Atlanta in my book. Gucci, GM, welcome to the stage. Now that we know it's in the US, it's not Tokyo, it's not Amsterdam. Do you think it's Miami, who was number 3 in your poll earlier? Or do you think it's LA or somewhere else we haven't mentioned?
I mean, I have no idea. I don't know how red is associated with Miami. The red is just really throwing me off. But I agree with you. Flying we're both Florida people. Flying to LA is like flying to Amsterdam, really. It's like, it's like flying overseas, 5-6 hour flight. I was hoping I could have got real behind Amsterdam, but anyways, overseas ship sailed. No idea where in America.
Mike Campbell adds in the chat, Complex Con is October 3rd and 4th. So what is 10/17? Yeah, if it's Machiavelli, you got to respond to that. If it is Complex Con partnership, which I agree, there's some breadcrumbs. Where does 10/17 come into play?
Then if really, that's a good question. I would honestly say that, you know, I would be leaning more towards Miami, just thinking about that. But like, I'm looking at like what else is going on that month. Art Blocks is that month. Marfa, that's the 22nd to the 25th of October. So the weekend before that is the 17th. Man, I don't know, man. Like, this is, you know, I don't know what 1017 is. Maybe it's the address of the building in Los Angeles.
Could be. I didn't realize you can't quote tweet and put a poll out there. Miami?
Rock Soul's reasoning seems very, very logical now.
The only thing I can think about in relation for Miami, and it's kind of a stretch, but just last month I was down in Miami for the conference where there was a Boring Yachts party, and that Boring Yachts party was at the Red Door in which area was that? Anyways, it's there was just a Bored Ape event at the Red Door in Miami a month ago, but it was a small venue, and I don't think they would tie like the ApeFest teaser to that spot. But
I'm a couple people in the chat says Fondy says 1017 is probably the date. Von Frunten also says 1017 is the date, people. 3 points, Wynwood, it all lines up. East Coast is easier to for US and Europe, only hard for Asia, and they're getting the tour now. Yep, West Coast is a pain to travel from almost anyone. I agree. I'm doubling down on the Asia. Well, we know it's not Asia because it is the US. So I further think that they're getting the love now because ApeFest isn't going to be there. And not only is it not going to be there, it's the hardest travel of the major regions that the club members reside. So Europe, not that difficult to get to Miami. Very challenging it's the most challenging as far as like a large proximity of apes. It's the hardest to get to Miami from Asia. Hence why I think that checks out. So my vote is going to be Miami. LA with Complex Con makes sense. Atlanta with 1017 records. It also checks those same points we just mentioned on for accessibility for international travel. And the fact that 1017 is a Saturday, the fact that 3 Points Fest is the 16th and 17th. I'm going back to my original take. Same thing I said yesterday. Well, all the way around here, I got convinced it was Amsterdam. Got convinced it might be Tokyo. I'm going back to my original take that it is Miami. I've been saying it for months. I thought it'll be a good primer for. No, I don't think Clubhouse will be opened, but man, if they have a room ready, if there's a way to do a light tour, kind of show off where it's going to be, do a poker game on Sunday, I think it all makes sense. I'm gonna drop this now. We're gonna do Coffee with Captain here in a second, and I just threw out, now that we know it's in the US, what's your take? Hit the poll in the comments. We'll come back to it on Monday morning. It's just a 24-hour poll, but we'll share the results on Monday. I mean, at this point, we might know. I thought it might be like a week between. I thought it might be a week between breadcrumbs, a week between hints. I think now that we saw the first hint on Thursday at 10 a.m., the second hint on Friday at 10 a.m., we might 10 a.m. tomorrow, we might know where it's at. Maybe not, but I'm curious. Go put your best guess in there. Miami, 3 Points Fest we talked about. LA, Complex Con. Atlanta, 1017 Records, or other. Where do you think? All right, I guess here we go. Jay, the 1017 street address connection in Houston's upscale river district. 1017 is tied to ultra luxury retail blocks and high-end event spaces. Interesting. New data point. ChatGPT saw the background and is exactly the same in only square area around the US changed. So no new clues in the background. Oh, thank you for sharing. The background that was in US Today is the same background that was shared yesterday. Mario guesses Miami. And yeah, we know for sure it's the US. So unless it's a really deep riddle, and that was just a pump fake, but I don't think that's the case. I think they're telling us it's going to be in the US. So yeah, let us know where you think. I'm not only do I think it's going to be Miami, I'm rooting for Miami. Yes, it's selfish. Yes, I can drive there. You know what? I will offer that. I should probably ask for if everyone's cool with that, but I will. Gucci Mane's doubling down on sorry. Gucci. I don't like it. Gucci.
Oh, or Guccione.
Guccione is Guccione. Does it come from Gucci Mane? Is Guccione the inspiration behind Gucci? I must know. He's doubling down on ApeFest is going to Atlanta. 10-17 Gucci Mane, Brick Squad, Falcons and Braves have red in their color palette. Illa has worked with Gucci Mane. Waka Flocka owns a mutant, and Atlanta has nice weather in October. Yeah, I think Atlanta's very much in the running. I don't think it's going to be Atlanta, but logical dots have been connected here. So I appreciate you sharing in the deep. I still think that I think Rock Soul had the best data point, the best breadcrumb with 1017 Festival, 3 Points Fest. And yeah, if it's in Miami, I will probably book my hotel on October 16th. No joke. I may open up my guest room to someone that's coming internationally. If you want to place if you're coming for an extended stay and you want to visit the other coast while you're here, my guest room might be available to a member. We'll see. No commitments on that yet.
Yo, I might need to use that soon, Cap. What's up?
Yep. Yeah, it may be opened up. We will see. Live from ApeFest, Cap on the streets for Diablo. The circle X could represent the Olympic rings, +1 for Atlanta. We might need a special Saturday morning coffee with Captain to break the news if we do get another 10 a.m. post tomorrow, and we will see. But it's time. We got to get a coffee with Captain here. We're already running a little bit long. It's Friday. We got the U.S. and Australia game coming up in just a few hours. Jay, are you still in the chat? I assume so, since you just commented on the circled red. JZ7171 or 7L1L. You are today's participant in Coffee with Captain. Just give me a thumbs up or any sort of indication, any comment, let me know you're still out there, and you'll be able to let us know if you want to swap for the buyout offer or if you want to keep the card we pull for you here. But just give me some indication in the chat, and assuming you're still out there, I am looking here. You're welcome to come up on stage if you'd like, but no obligation. I just need to know you're there, so when we do the poll, you can tell me what you want to do, and we'll head over to BZ here and do our claw pull in a second. Let me see what grails we have today in the silver machine. It is and all this ApeFest talk. I have a feeling it's gonna somehow there's gonna be some correlation. The next breadcrumb is gonna be what grail is pulled here. Average value on this $50 claw pull is $55 right now. You got a 0.17% chance of hitting an ultra rare, which is over $750. A rare, you got 0.58% chance. Uncommon is a 3.76% chance. A common, which is anywhere between $51 and $100, is a 24% chance. The chase items, the chase item that were oh cool, it's a Pikachu, awesome. So Jay is here smoking briskets, love it, love to hear it. You know what? I saw brisket at, it must have been last time I was at Costco. Like, you know what? I need to get another smoker. My old one my brother made for me. It ran its course, and I need to get a new smoker. But you got a Pikachu as the Grail chase item. It's a 2003 Skyridge Pikachu tag 8, and not too shabby. The other chase items, you got a 2021 Japanese Peerless Fighters Blaziken. It's a PSA 10 valued at $869. There's also a Black Bolt Zekrom. It's a CGC 10. It's valued at $778. There's like several others in that $600 to $700 range. And looking at the recent pulls, no one recently has pulled any of those chase items. So the last one was a little while ago. It was a Raichu PSA 7 that goes for $1,000. But I think the odds are in your favor, Jay. So good luck. Good guess on the Menendez brothers. And let's do a proper play in here, and then we will do our coffee with Captain for Jay. Jay, just hang out for another 30, 60 seconds. We'll see what you pull. It's going to be that Pikachu. I can feel it. And before we get there, though, proper play in for our friends over at BAYC. By the way, pinned up top, their new, as we talked about, their new raffle is live for anyone that has points. Real rewards, loyalty rewards program. If you've done any activity on BAYC, head over there and redeem your points for that raffle pool, and you might too pull a grail today. But this is Coffee with Captain, brought to you by BAYC.
Coffee with Captain, give that claw a spin. Culture grills from BAYC, prizes within. Mystery and magic, where to begin? Coffee with Captain, it's your time to win.
It is Jay's time to win. We are going to pull a grail here. This is the Coffee with Captain Grail pull. Coffee with Captain Claw pull. He's going to win that Pikachu you see right there. Good luck, Jay. Good luck. Good luck. I hope you pull one of these grails. It's in process. We'll show the card here in just about a second or two. And everyone send Jay your good vibes. All right. Not the worst. Got a Pidgeot. It's a PSA 7 swap. You can swap it for $48. It breaks down to $45.12 after the fees, or you can vault the Pidgeot, the Pokemon Jungle Pidgeot Holo. It's a PSA 7 near mint. Jay, let us know if you want to vault this Pidgeot, or if you want to swap and collect the $45.12. Your call. And why we wait on, Jay said, I'd just seen a short about a card that a couple weeks ago before started looking through the boxes for his old hoops card. Oh, the Menendez brothers. Cool. Awesome. Well, it's fitting. He's going to cash out. So you got it. No obligations. You can take your $45 and pull it off the platform if you want. Though I will tell you, Mike Campbell recently hit a claw pull for around that same value. He parlayed it into a second claw pull and pulled a $1,200 card out of that. So good luck if you choose to do that. I hope you pull a grail on your next one. Do me a favor and DM me either your BAYC account, or if you don't have BAYC account set up, click that QR code up top. It'll take you to the Coffee with Captain ref link, and he's going to mic it. I don't know what that means, but he's going to mic it. Shoot me your BAYC account profile, or an EVM address. And we'll get that card sent over to you after the show here. Again, anyone else tuning in, if you've not yet set up a BAYC account, click the ref link on the screen, or it's just Captain Zwingli, all one word is the ref code. I think it's like maybe 1% of revenue goes back to us on the ref link, but it's more so just helps with tracking, helps us. If you like Coffee with Captain and you want to see us continue to do this forever, the more we can show that it is not just driving new users, but new users that continue to use the platform. It does go a long way to just add to our, don't get me wrong, we got a great relationship with Andrea and the team. Joey is on, adds value to this show almost every day, but still grateful for the partnership, and want to, beyond just giving away their cards and me rocking a badge, I would love to, drive as much value as we can back to the platform. So the ref code helps track the everything we're driving over there. Jay, shoot me a DM with your BAYC account, or your I'm not going to read that comment. Your BAYC account or your EVM address, and we'll get that sent right over to you. But congrats, a nice card. I know you're cashing out. Let me cash out before I forget here. I got 15 minutes. We're going to swap for 48. If you've never seen it, pretty easy. They give you 90% of the value, 45.12 credit to the account. And again, I'll get you that $45.12 sent over momentarily. To everyone else, thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for sharing your thesis, what's thesis plural? Is it thesis? Just what's the plural of thesis? Does anyone know? Is it just thesis? It's got to be, right? No one wants to out themselves as theses. Thanks for sharing your theses this morning. Yeah, it sounds good. We'll run with it. You could have pulled me. Thomas, appreciate you tuning in. Enjoy your day off. Everyone else, thanks for tuning in today, whether you just hung out in the chat and listened today or you shared your theses. I think it is theses. That checks out. We're going to go with it. I'm excited. I think we'll see another drop tomorrow at 10 a.m. and that might be the one. Go vote in the poll. It's pinned up top. I'm leaning on. I'm Miami. My vote is Miami for sure. I think it is. Not only am I leaning Miami, I'm going to go one step further and say ApeFest 2026 will be in Miami. More specifically, it'll be in Wynwood on 10/17, and on 10/16, we're all going to go to 3 Points Music Festival. No pressure. I probably shouldn't set this expectation because if it's not in partnership with 3 Points Music Festival, some of you might be upset. But I come into the show not even knowing about 3 Points Music Festival, and Rock Soul jumped up and shared that he's been beating this drum for a while, and the fact that it just lines up with 10/17, I think is that's the strongest. That's the most compelling data point. It's the most compelling thesis that I heard this morning, and so I'm gonna double down on my original take yesterday that is going to be Miami. It'll be October 17th in Miami, even more specifically Wynwood, and we'll be partying. We'll be dancing to Bone Thugs and the Yakasumi Yakasota, the Japanese international DJ who used to be a construction worker and shifted careers after he found out he had a brain tumor. Anyways, go USA, beat Australia. I don't think we have too many people from Australia tuning in, maybe a few. So no offense, but go enjoy the games today. Have a good weekend. Good luck with your ApeFest location guesses. And as always, we'll be back Monday morning, every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern time here on Coffee with Captain. Appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you Monday.